All right, I'm gonna clap. I'm gonna clap.
Do we do it at the same time?
Yeah, ready?
Okay.
One, two, three. Do it again. One, two, three. Yeah, I think we're good.
Yeah?
Well done.
Thanks.
Well done, mate.
I work hard on that.
Yeah, you sound terrible.
Yeah, it took a lot out of me.
Yeah. You're old and decrepit. Oi.
Oi. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, for anyone who cares, anyone who's listening.
Yep.
Yeah, this is the third inauguration event of our podcast. So this is the third time we've tried doing it. We've recorded the first episode previously on Redline, and then we tried Heat as well, and we've had so many issues.
Heat.
Heat. Al
Great
Pacino. We'll get into that another time.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this is our second attempt. So briefly, I'm Sean. I'm an actor. Yeah. Tell us about yourself, Tom.
I'm Tom. I'm a film student, currently studying in London with the Central Film School in the University of Gloucestershire, doing my master's degree. Therefore, I am a master of the trade.
A master of his craft.
Well, yes,
we will put that metal to the test, shan't we?
Yeah, exactly. I love it how people are always like, "Oh, so what are you doing as a master?" Like, wow, it sounds really fancy. And I'm like, I just watch films.
Yeah, basically. I make some as well.
Yeah, I make some as well, but I
mostly
watch. Yeah, exactly. I make films and watch films. Yeah. So, and you, Sean, you went to Bristol Vic, so you're quite well qualified as well.
Well, I mean, that's subjective, isn't it? Let's not count our chickens before they're hatched. Okay. I mean,
yeah,
I'm familiar with the acting gig. I've worked a few years. You know, I've got opinions, so that's pretty much all that qualifies for a podcast these days.
You know your way around a sonnet.
I know my way around a sonnet, and that is the most vital thing when analysing an anime film.
Yeah, they always say before you even attempt to watch a Ghibli film, you should at least get a few sonnets under your belt, just to get things rolling.
Shall I compare the?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, on that excellent little segue, film we're talking about today, for the first time ever. The second time, actually.
No, Sean. No, we've never spoke about this before.
No, definitely
first
not.
Time. Yeah.
See, this is where I'd play like clips of the original podcast so people can hear what an interesting, all over the place affair that was.
Yeah.
But we'll come back to it. We're trying to condense our points a bit more.
Yeah. And we love the film as well, so we wanted to give it justice.
Yeah, straight off the bat, we really care. We're very passionate about this film. It's a great film. Yeah. Exactly. A great anime film, but also a great film. I think it really does well to. It doesn't have too much of a vibe that's specific to its kind of to its aesthetic. But you have sometimes these kind of films people find a bit difficult to access, I think. And something like this is so appealing across the board to anybody. I think it's a film that makes you feel passionate about racing. I think it does a really good job if you care about what the film cares about.
Yeah, I think I said last time I went. I recently saw. I didn't recently see it, but I saw a film called Le Mans '66.
Yeah.
With Matt Damon.
Well, before we get into that, should we give a bit of preamble about the film itself?
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so Redline is a 2009 science fiction auto racing anime film produced by Madhouse Studio, released in 2010. It's the debut of Takeshi Kioke. I apologize if I'm saying that wrong. But he worked in animation for a long time, about 20 years, and then this is his first feature film. So it's a bloody impressive achievement straight off the bat as first feature film.
Yeah, it's
it's an anime film set in a non-specific time in the future about racing, about a big event called the Redline race. It's this big illegal race that happens across the galaxy.
Yeah.
Anything to add to that?
Yeah, it's
sorry.
If you wanted the best, I think for me, it's like if you've ever played the game, hold on, let me get the title up.
Is it F-Zero?
Yeah, if you've ever played F-Zero, this is like the film version of F-Zero. It's what I imagine if F-Zero got a feature film made out of it, it would be
Captain
this film.
Falcon.
Yeah, if Captain Falcon managed to get a film, it would be this film. It's
Falcon.
It's a crazy fun ride. As you say, like it's sensational effort by everyone involved. Like considering this is a debut film, and not only that, we'll go into it in a little bit later, but this is a completely hand-drawn debut film that just completely showcases fantastic animation, beautiful color palette, and just pacing that you wouldn't even believe. Like you're just going to be excited the whole way through. So it's like a video game turned into a movie. It's incredible. Like it's brilliant. It's fantastic.
Yeah, and it works, not in the way that it's not something like The Witcher or something. It's very much its own thing. It's really original. It's really it's fresh. You know, it's very different but familiar at the same time. It goes through a lot of classic storytelling tropes. It reminds me kind of Pixar in the very traditional way of constructing a story where it's very tight and efficient. You know, they have things they introduce that come up later. Everything pays off. They try and develop their small side characters as much as they can with the little time they have. Going to have different, you know, without getting too much into it. But I'm sorry, I rudely interrupted you before when you were just starting to compare it. So before we kind of get into it, you were comparing it to Le Mans '66.
Yeah, so
you were saying about the film kind of making you passionate, interested about its subject.
I saw a film. I saw Le Mans '66, or Americans would call it Ford versus Ferrari. You know how like in Europe it was Zootropolis, and in America it was Zootopia. It's that kind of spiel where like they just assume that certain audiences will appeal, like titles will appeal more to them. But anyway, so I saw this film, and one of the things I could say about it was when people asked me like, "Oh, did you like it?" and I was like, "Well, you know what? I'm not a big fan of racing films, but this film will make you care about racing films," and that's what Le Mans '66 does. It's like it's a film about a long 24-hour endurance race, which on the surface sounds like the most boringest thing on the planet, but somehow they completely make you invest in everything about it. By the end of it, you'll be thinking about revs, you'll be thinking about tire changes, oil changes, everything. Like it's you do get so enamored within the whole world of it, and that's exactly what Redline does as well. Like you may not be a big fan of anime, you may not be a big fan of racing films, but Redline has a very good way, like you say, because it's so tight, and the way it's constructed and the way the script works, it's so tight and it loops around so perfectly. You're going to care about everything in this world, basically. There's a very, very good job of doing that. And as you said, as you said before, Sean, it's a fantastic example of just like a short period of time that's just, you get every drop of information out of it. Like it's a very tight film.
Yeah, it's like a complete package of an experience, isn't it? Like it takes you through visuals, makes you think things, feel things, does everything it kind of needs to do and can do, really, with that kind of backdrop, and moves on. I mean, there's always stuff you can add here and there, but I mean, Tom, you'll be familiar with this, but I think we're living in a bit of a dark ages for like film length, where things are getting kind of out of hand with pacing, and people don't really know what to cut and what to keep anymore. Kind of thing. But I watched The Irishman. Great film. Never going to watch it again. Like, 3.5 hours. That is, I mean, it's great because there's so many great scenes. There's great scenes, but does it actually change much to the overall story? Not really. You know, it depends in places, you know, where it's like, this is great. It fleshes out our characters a little bit more. It doesn't really add anything to the overall story and how it ties together.
Yeah,
and it's nice for times like that. But I mean, this comes back to our discussion about Heat, which we haven't had yet. But when we do, we talk about like this unnecessary fluff and developing things a little bit that don't really need development and don't really add much to the overall piece, and it can kind of flag on pacing.
Unlike Heat, do you think The Irishman could work as a TV show? Seriously, like, do you think it could? Like, it's produced by Netflix, and it's got a lot of overarching storylines, like you said. That
I mean, I say no. Like, of course, there's loads of episodes because you can do different eras as well. The first 2 episodes can be in his young career, kind of. We show him struggling in his life, and we show his daughters and his wife, and he doesn't know how to work, and he's affected from after the war. And then we see De Niro like kind of fall in with Joe Pesci and start to fall in with the mob. And by the end of the first episode, it's kind of like he's ready to do his first job. Then the second episode is him doing that job and kind of falling in a bit more. Third, fourth, we move on to the next era in his 40s, 30s, 40s, 50s.
Yeah.
Then we go to the end again. And like you could, but I'd say you'd be dragging it out unnecessarily, really. Like you'd be adding depth. Yeah. For what reason, really? Like you'd have more scenes where he's interacting with his daughters and we see the distance growing between them. But we know this already from, information already passed out in the film. Yeah. And it's stuff like that because, I think in The Irishman, the daughters suffer quite a bit from underdevelopment, considering how long the film is. Yeah. They don't, we know she doesn't approve of his lifestyle. And we don't know much else. And that's fine, because that's the narrative is De Niro's perspective, or following him. So it's quite appropriate we see from his perspective that we don't quite get. We know she's upset, we just don't know exactly why.
Yeah.
It ties into him because the film's told from his point of view. I think a TV show would run the risk of like running off with different narratives and threads, focusing on several characters, and it will deflate the overall story. It'll be a pacing thing. I think if it came out, it'll be 8 episodes, and people will be like, could have done it in 5.
Yeah.
Which is probably why it's a 3.5-hour film. But
the thing is,
personally, it's like even that's too long.
No, it's the same. The thing I have with Netflix is that Netflix always have a way of drawing out so much shit out of a very simple subject. So I feel
like 2 episodes in Ozark.
Yeah.
I think.
So
I really like Ozark season 1, but there's like 2 episodes where it's like I don't really know anything new or much has changed for the overall story.
Well, this is it. So the thing about The Irishman, if you could turn it into a TV series, you'd get all that bullshitty endings. You know what I mean? You get like those really convenient plot lines that turn up. You get those really convenient kind of like, and then we're going to end the episode here, and it's just a lot of times.
Maybe. Who knows how they structure it really? But come on, you're taking the same story.
I find a lot of Netflix's tactics to be quite cheap, not really with their documentaries, but with their series. It's very much it's very much this kind of like, I don't know, like you get these endings that come out of sort of nowhere, and you get these kind of cliffhangers that kind of appear out of nowhere.
I do know what you mean. That's exactly what I felt after Ozark season 1, where I was like, I like this. It's like a complete tight story, and then they like this ending twist happens, so there's more to come. I'm like, no, it was fine as it was. I don't know if I'm invested enough to watch more, but at the same time, it's easy to say that from my high horse. I haven't watched further because there's so much to get through. Like, it depends how much time I want to commit to, watching one series over the other. But I do see what you mean. Like, it's like when I watched The Dark Crystal as well. Really enjoyed it, but even that at the end, it kind of set itself up for, I think, a sequel, even though I know the film follows after, so it's after The Age of Resistance. I think they're setting themselves up a bit for a sequel, and it's like, I think you should have just kind of closed it off a bit more neatly, and left it as is. I don't know if there's going to be a sequel or not. I mean, it was bleeding expensive. God bless them, Netflix did an amazing job. They poured their heart and soul into that.
Well, that's the problem with actual puppets, isn't it? Like everyone, when Jurassic,
how expensive they are, I guess.
Exactly. Like, when Jurassic World came out, everyone was like,
because didn't they have real puppets? Didn't they have the
Yeah, they did,
it just
but
didn't
not
come off right.
No,
they had not looked right.
Yeah, they had like 3 puppets. You know what I mean? Like they didn't have. It wasn't like the whole film was done with puppeteers. Like it was.
No, but they had the raptors.
Yeah, they had a few, and that was the thing though. Like the problem is, like, to hire a puppeteer to come in, you can just smash out so much on CG, and that's the horrible truth about it. Really, is that the craftsmen, these puppeteers. It's why you'll never get like real animals in films, because like to hire an animal trainer and an animal is just so fucking expensive, and the liability. Like at this point, like back in the 80s, you could just do that shit and pay them nothing.
Yeah.
Because it was like, it was the 80s, but like now everyone has a union, everyone has a representative, there's certain laws in place, and it's like you can't So everyone needs to be paid fairly, which in a way is a good thing, but it also means that
this is how you can't cut corners or save.
Well, this is it.
Yeah, it's changed it. It's made it fairer and harder, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly. It's like
you wouldn't get a Star Wars project by the seat of its pants on a shoestring, falling apart at the seams, saved in the edit, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Not in this day and age, or at least you wouldn't under very rare circumstances. Well, I say that. I mean, Dawn of Justice exists. Justice League, whatever it's called. Batman v Superman. So, I mean,
yeah. I mean, I think it's like you said. Everything is fairer, which means everyone needs to be paid properly, and studios cannot cut corners anymore. And the thing is, the more you look into Hollywood as an industry throughout history, the more you realize it's an industry built on cutting corners. It's an industry.
That's what they call the magic. That's how they make the film.
Well, that sets falling to pieces. That's the magic, baby. You want the fear in their eyes, Sean, as the set's collapsing down.
You want to make it in this business? You got to make sure you're scared every day that you can't afford your next meal. That your job's going to disappear at a moment's notice. That you're going to get dropped like a hot potato.
But John, there's a fire. Use it, baby. Work it.
Work that
fire. The
fire
baby.
is you, and you are the fire.
But we're doing a comedy. Use the fire. The comedy.
That's because these jokes are hot.
but the tiger is eating the main actress. He's hungry for laughs, sweetheart. He's hungry for the action.
We've got a tiger and a fire.
Yeah, it's Hollywood.
What film is being made here in this theoretical scenario?
Every fucking shit film made in the 60s. There's a fire, and but like it's all cutting corners. Like if it wasn't abusing the actors, if it wasn't like paying them fuck all and treating them like absolute dog shit, you treated the special effects team like dog shit. You just treat you cut as many corners as possible. I remember.
There's been worse though, hasn't there? Wasn't it all the people that did Sonic got fired?
No, fuck off.
Yeah, I mean,
seriously,
let me look into this. Let me Google myself.
Cue the Google
I'm pretty
music.
sure after they did the Sonic redesign, the studio had to fire a bunch of them to avoid bankruptcy.
Fuck me.
I mean, any listeners out there, corroborate yourselves. I don't know if I have time to double check myself.
I mean, I know. I mean, that is absolute bullshit. Like you save a company.
They shut down.
You save a company from absolute disgrace and embarrassment, and you're fired.
Yeah, they shut down.
Yeah,
the studio shut down. Which again is, and they also worked on The Lion King, the Disney remake.
Yeah,
but like, that's crazy. And for a film, Sonic was received pretty well by all standards. Like people don't seem that offended by it. I haven't seen it. It sounds like it's exactly what people expected it to be in all the right ways. Yeah, so it wasn't an emoji movie.
Not gonna lie, Sean. If I was fired from the Sonic movie after I'd saved the company, I would definitely put some sort of penis somewhere on that Sonic's body.
As just sneak it in there.
Yeah, just sneak it in.
Frame.
Yeah. See
my chili dog.
Sneak
it in there. At some point when he's talking to James Marsden, it's just there in the car or something when he's got the ping pong ball. I don't know. Whatever's in the trailer.
Yeah. The ping pong shot. Yeah.
I'm not pretending like I haven't seen the film. I haven't, but I really want to. I'm not ashamed. I used to play. I was a big Sonic nerd when I was a kid. He was my jam along with Spider-Man.
He was your chili dog. Yeah.
He was my chili. He was the dog of Chile to my bun. So this is like a little side tangent. Tom and I were trying to break down Sonic Hedgehog's character. What is there to him beyond gotta go fast and chili dogs? Beyond that, what has he got?
Can't you say anything more than chili dogs? Dogs of Chile.
Perfect.
Brilliant, well done, mate.
Well, great.
Yes.
But,
yeah. Carry on. Sorry.
What? No. I'm just about to say, if you remember where we were, please go for it.
No, I was just saying that we should. If I was fired from that company, I would turn one of his teeth into a penis.
You would fuck with it. Yeah, what a terrible way! What a terrible way to treat your people.
Yeah. And if I'd worked on Cats, I would definitely put a in there somewhere, like a real or some sort of penis. You know what I mean? That film is already
there's enough weirdly sexual stuff. Like again, I haven't seen it, but there's enough footage online already. Like that thing was a meme in the day. Like it's what a disaster. And again, I don't blame the special effects because they knew it looked terrible. Of
course they did.
They were rushed. I mean, there's all kinds of stories. Like I think it was like didn't edit the trailer. It was being edited right up till release. You know, there was the original version, which of course none of us will get to see. Yeah. Unfortunately, now there's a redone version they re-released, and those CGI artists weren't happy about it. They weren't given time, and
of course not. The thing is with Cats is like you just said very famously, like there's already I bet a shit ton of porn out there already with that Cats film. So like if you're the CG department, you're like, this is already going to go out to DeviantArt by tomorrow.
Yeah, it's not. They don't not know. They know. Like nobody doesn't know what's memeing that hard on their own work on the internet.
Yeah.
They're fully aware.
Yeah.
And God bless them. Now they've got to get jobs after this.
Well, they'll be fine. They'll be fine because they can hold their heads up high and say like, we're the team that redeveloped Sonic, and then every employee will be like, holy shit.
Oh, Sonic.
Yeah, you turned that piece of steaming hot garbage into something passable.
It's a pretty big achievement, isn't it?
Yeah, they've done very well, and fair play to them. Like they did an incredible job.
In a short turnover, they did it.
Yeah, and they did a very good job as well. Like
that's annoying because the studio company who made that film,
Paramount, I think. Hold on, it was made by,
Paramount.
It was Paramount, yeah, it was Paramount.
So they got some brownie points, didn't they? Do you remember when the first design came out? Everyone laughed. They're like, why are you using Gangsta's Paradise as the original trailer music? Like, how tonally deaf. Who is this film for? Like, who made this? What are you thinking?
Yeah.
It's weird how you get this sometimes where like they make a big franchise film by people who don't know what it's about. It's like, why don't you just get people in who are passionate? There must be some out there.
What, Sean?
It's probably an incredibly ignorant thing for me to say. Like, I really don't know.
They probably went.
What goes on?
It was probably they were probably in Japan, and they were like, so who are we basing this film for? And someone just said, really fat white guys who live in their basement.
How dare you? I happen to be very trim.
And it's not a basement, all right? It's an attic, all right? Fuck
it's
you.
An attic.
It's a goddamn attic. I can see the sky. I can see the blue of the sky. Thank you.
Close to nature and the air itself. Not down in the dirt like a mole.
And I've only got 14 Sonic plushies in there.
I'll have you know, none of the new redesigns from Sonic Boom.
And I only have
that much of a fan.
And I only have sex with 2 of them, so it's fine.
Did you know that? It's actually a Sonic and a Shadow one.
Yeah,
I mix it up.
Oh my god! What the fuck are they even talking about? I don't know.
The Sonic Studio, the redesign, like it's impressive. Turnover.
Oh yeah, no. So they must have in Japan. They must have just been like, so who are we basing this off? We're going off like white guys. So let's play Gangsta's Paradise. Let's play Gangsta's Paradise.
Yes.
Yeah, that'll do.
Of course.
That's what all the fat white kids love.
What?
Oh my god. Anyway, to get back on
let's get back on track.
You know what else is a very good effort for the animation department? Redline.
Which is a great success from its effort, where people didn't get laid off and fired afterwards.
Did they not?
I don't know. I mean, probably, because it didn't do great.
No.
But we'll get into that. Redline.
Say what you want about Redline. Unlike Sonic, probably has one of the best soundtracks ever.
It's great for the film, isn't it? It's such a perfect fit for it. It's
fantastic.
very, again, it's that 2000s era. Like it's got it's got the kind of trancey, kind of early dubby beats, the kind of like that kind of classic sound. It's got kind of garage elements to it, especially that ending song, Redline Day, the clean guitar, clean synth pop beat behind it. But again, all the music, like I didn't notice, but on my second watch, because I watched this film once already for the original. Tom's already watched it twice. This will be his third time. And the first time I was just so caught up with the excitement of it all that it was one of the good things about redoing this is I get to look at it a bit more objectively on a second.
Yeah, you're not like high off adrenaline, basically.
No, which is always the beauty and the sad thing you can never recapture even in your like a film you love. You can never get that first experience again, that initial feeling it gave you. That's kind of a shame about losing that podcast, as it comes off in that.
I mean, we still got it, Sean. We still got the beginning of that podcast.
Yeah, true. Well, the Saint Gabriel, Saint Peter and Gabriel.
We've recorded all the way up to the end, so we just haven't got us talking about the end, basically.
Well, maybe that'll be the hidden tracks.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll release it one day.
But you're right.
Be a treat.
You're right, Sean. The thing I'd say about this film is that you cannot replicate that first time you see it, because the first time you see this film,
it really is one of those films.
It is, isn't it? You're just
emotionally.
You're not expecting much, because you're like, someone will recommend it to you. You're like, oh, some animated film about racing, and then you'll watch it. And I mean, if you've had a few beers as well, that always helps. But like, I remember finishing this film, Sean, and just being in complete like laughter the whole way to the end. I was just smiling and laughing the whole way through. And like you say, you can see it a few more times and appreciate stuff like the art style, the animation, and the character development. But that first time, you can't replicate that just madness that you feel, that just absolute balls off the wall, crazy ride that you're taking on when you go watch Redline for the first time. It's insane.
No, absolutely.
Yeah,
and it really is one of those films. It drags you. It's a bit like a whirlwind. It sweeps you up and leaves you all a dazed and aglow.
Yeah,
it's a great film. So I'm so like I'd never heard of this film before, which is a crime, which is easier for us to say as opinionated wankers. But I'd never heard of this film before until Tom had introduced me to it.
Yeah,
it was a film. What was it? 7 years in the making.
Yeah, 7 years. Yeah, 7 years in the making. And as we said before, it was completely hand drawn. The director, Takeshi, he was constantly asked by his studio, Mad Dog. They were like, "Dude, you've got to just put in some CGI in this film. Like the things you're asking for, the scenes that you're asking for, those intricate sort of smooth shots that you're asking for, it's going to take us weeks to animate." And he just kept saying like, no, it needs to be hand drawn. It needs to be hand drawn. I need to see every frame. I need to see exactly how it flows. I need to see exactly the rhythm of each shot, how it flows. I need the editors to be able to see the rhythm of each shot. I need them to be able to cut it precisely with the music. And I honestly do feel for the studio, because if a director was saying that to me, I'd be losing my shit as well. Like, no, it's got to be all hand drawn. I'd be like, oh my god. Like, We've got one of those twats who's just gonna.
One of those artists.
Yes, exactly. One of those directors who just wants to make things difficult for the sake of it. But 7 years down the line, over 100,000 frames or 10,000 frames, you can absolutely see every year
100,000 handmade drawings.
Yeah,
7 years in production.
You can see it, but at the end of it, when you watch this film, you see all of it. You completely
you can see the effort, the craftsmanship. Like this is a film that was lovingly handcrafted. It's really got that feel to it. I think it's one of those appeals that Star Wars has, the originals.
Yeah,
like, it's just got such a feeling of love and attention to detail in everything, and it's so alive. They really bring the world alive, the universe, the galaxy it's set in.
Exactly. When I saw Mad Max for the first time, a lot of people were like, oh, well, it's just a film about a fucking guy driving through the desert, blowing up shit. But the thing is, like, if me and you, Sean,
it's a bit disingenuous, isn't it?
No, well, of course it is. But the thing is, like, me and you, Sean, like, and the same with, I think, a lot of listeners, if you just appreciate filmmaking, you'll watch a film like Mad Max and you'll see every single stuntman, every single stunt driver just pouring their heart out to make every shot incredible. Like,
Yeah.
And that's what makes it stand out. And like you say, you don't get that anymore. Like we were talking earlier about just like spanning shit with CG and like not relying on things like puppets or puppeteers anymore. Like this is a real product of of handcrafted love. Like you said, like you said, like the original Star Wars. Like you don't get these kind of movies anymore. They're not
It's
financially.
Not
no. Well, exactly.
I'm trying to think of one. I want to give films a fair crack. Well, it always seems that people are always like, oh, they're not how they used to be.
I guess Isle of Dogs can kind of hold its head up a little bit. Still stop motion.
Wes Anderson project. You got things like that.
Yeah, stop motion really animation. Vivid.
Yeah. That's actually a good comparison. I think it's certainly not tonally or stylistically like Wes Anderson, but it's styled like Wes Anderson. Yeah. It's styled. It's got its own style and feel to it. Yeah. Very distinct, which is really nice. It helps it really stand out. It's very hard for a film to be, really pop out like that, to have that certain flavor like that. Pulp Fiction.
Yes. Yeah.
Gladiator or Titanic. Or Lord of the Rings.
Oh, well, this is it. Like, me and you absolutely bum Lord of the Rings, don't we?
If we ever get to Lord of the Rings, that's going to be a very long, very biased discussion. It's all going to be. There's basically it can do no wrong.
Yeah, me and Sean.
Even the extended editions with some of the extra scenes where the acting is not quite. There's some roughness around the corners.
Like it's 2 years down the line and they were just recording lines. Yeah.
Yeah. Trying to remember what they did that technically in the film happened 5 minutes ago that they filmed 2 years ago.
Me and Sean are the sort of people that, if given the opportunity, would fuck the DVD of Lord of the Rings because it's so beautiful.
That's another cool way of putting it.
Yeah. We'd grab some hot butter and just go to town on that.
It's true, like it's a lovely package. It's like a tome, like a book.
Yeah.
Like the Bible. It has weight, it has gravitas to it. It's a piece of art, it's a piece of culture.
And the reason that Lord of the Rings has lasted so long, and the reason it still holds a huge place in everyone's hearts, is because, like you've said many times, Sean, is because everything is 80% of that film is handmade. Like Weta Workshop made all the armor. They made all the costumes.
Shows, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It just looks so goddamn good.
I remember going to school with a guy called in secondary school, and he was from New Zealand, and I was like, oh, did you get to see any of the sets? And he was like, yeah, I saw Helm's Deep. It was on the way to my school. And I was like, what, actual Helm's Deep? Yeah, they built the whole thing in a quarry. And I was like, what? You know what I mean?
It's always a good quarry, imagine it? Like they did that for the lake fight scene, season 7 of Game of Thrones. The one where they're in the circle lake. They built this place in a quarry, I think.
Wow, that's
frozen lake.
That's incredibly thoughtful of the Game of Thrones people to do. I would have thought they just would have just fucking thrown onto a green screen and just gone, oh, I don't want it.
No, the thing is, these were decisions made by talented people, who cared.
Yeah.
Of course, yeah. Didn't make all those decisions.
Mm-hmm.
We'll fucking get to D&D. We'll get to that.
Yeah. Cue the Tiger King music. D&D, I've got a lot to answer for. And I'm coming for I'm coming for them.
You know who's responsible for all the problems in the world? Fucking D&D.
D&D.
That bitch, D&D.
Tiger King here, coming at you with another D&D episode. What the fuck is up with Varys, right? He's supposed to be the smartest person in the whole of Seven Kingdoms. Why the fuck is he writing letters to people? Yeah. Hello?
Oh, sorry. I thought I lost you there. All right. Well, that's an awkward bit. Never mind.
That's all right.
Well, we're half an hour in and we have yet to...
Yeah.
Redline.
Okay. Do you want to very, very quickly summarize the plot? Like, we'll try not to talk about the plot as much as possible, but...
Okay, we'll do a quick summary.
Yeah.
What do the plot in quick summary of all the acts.
Yeah, and then we'll go over it, and then we'll go over the ones that we like.
Okay, so Redline, it's a film, animated film about racing. You don't need all that. Redline set in a non-specified distant future. where across the galaxy there's this huge event held annually, I think it is, but it's called the Redline race. It's a huge thing. Everyone's invested in it. And our story centers around a guy called Sweet JP, because,
Because of course.
Because of course. And we start with him qualifying to get into the Redline race. And he actually loses because his car is basically rigged against him by his mechanic / mobster friend, who's kind of in trouble and debt. No, I'm going too far. I'm going too much.
No. That's
well,
fine.
so JP is qualifying for the yellow line, and he's also competing against another racer called Sonoshi, who's also the kind of secondary main character, secondary protagonist. Great ass. Anime.
Yeah.
And so the yellow line race happens. JP loses, but he gets in through another racer for the red line race. Basically.
Yeah, he gets through default, doesn't he? He gets through on default.
Through default.
Yeah, people.
Meanwhile, this red line race is going to happen on a place called Robo World, which is this kind of militant zealot, fascistic cyborg nation who have been hoarding secret weapons, and they're at peace with the rest of the galaxy. It's mentioned there's peace treaties in place, but they don't want red line to happen because one, on their planet it's illegal. And they just don't want a bunch of hoodlums showing up and having an illegal race on their home planet. And two, they have a bunch of stockpiled secret weapons that they shouldn't have, and they're obviously worried that if the red line race happens, all their secrets get broadcast to the rest of the galaxy. So that kind of sets the stakes and playing field overall.
Yeah.
And then it's about them doing the yellow line race, preparing for the red line race, and then the red line race itself happens. There's a lot more to it than that, obviously. So the red line races are being interfered with. Robo World's trying to stop them. The red line race itself becomes a battle. Like, it becomes an all-out war.
Yeah.
It gets so out of hand, so beautifully.
It's essentially the most illegal race in the galaxy. Everyone who seems to host it kind of likes it, but these guys are just like absolutely not. Yeah. So it just turns in. So it turned. Yeah, you're right. It's this real sort of like gun ho frontier race that kind of drifts between planet to planet. It's super prestigious. It's like the ultimate race, basically.
Imagine if someone took Star Wars Episode 1, now this is pod racing, and like jacked that up, actually took that next fullest extent. Like you said, that game F-Zero, but it's a build upon that kind of whole premise, and it works so great. Yeah, but that's kind of that's the main plot overall. Yeah, I suppose we should get into it.
Yeah, I mean the first thing I'd like to talk about is the opening race, because the film starts...
absolutely. How they set the stage in like the first important 10 minutes.
Absolutely. The film starts with a yellow line race, which is the qualifying race for the red line, and it just sets the tone for the entire film. The one thing that Red Line really wants to sort of get across is the speed of these vehicles. It's very, very... It's very, Takeshi is very... as a director, he's very much trying to hone in on the fact that these vehicles are super, super, super fast, almost like impossibly fast.
Yeah, I mean, they do things, again, this is like the brilliant animation. What's great about this film is you get this kind of film work in this kind of format.
Yeah.
Like you have a film like Speed Racer, which I haven't seen, but, it's not fondly remembered. I don't think I don't think it really hit right. I mean, have you seen it? Are you familiar?
I have seen clips of Speed Racer, and the clips that I saw were absolute garbage. Like the clips I saw of Speed Racer were painful to watch. Painful to watch.
And the Fast and the Furious can't make car racing that exciting, especially over such a protracted, drawn-out series at this point.
It's hard. It's hard to make a film exciting when you've got Vin Diesel just going, we're gonna race. It's all about brotherhood, and you're like,
it's all about family.
It's about family.
You gotta love your family.
It's about family.
But, and what's great, like you were saying about the sense of speed, the director Takeshi really gets it down to a T. Like the first time we see this kind of hyper reality set in is when JP uses the gold nitro capsule, which works a bit like the NOS in the Fast and Furious. He basically drops something into his fuel tank that jacks it up and rockets him forward. And the lines extend and stretch in such an incredible way, and it all becomes drawn out. Like the perspective completely shifts. He stretches out in front of you in the camera, which again, you could only do this with 2D animation. It could only be pulled off with that kind of hand-drawn 2D art, and it looks incredible. And again, like you say, the one thing they get down really is just the sense of speed.
Yeah.
I mean, again, so at the beginning, it starts building atmosphere immediately. You start at the pulpits, the people watching, waiting at the main dragway, waiting a bit for the Redline racers to catch up with them. It doesn't matter where, they're just somewhere along the track. And all these citizens are kind of, you get to see so much detail in such a short period of time. You get to see so much crazy alien designs, and such interesting things, again, you couldn't do with live action or puppetry. You get to see them kind of chatting. They deliver a little bit of exposition with the lines, kind of explain, they kind of set the tone, and they're waiting for a race. And they're taking bets, and there's some kind of big event going on.
Yeah. Daddy, get the camera ready.
This kid with his dad and the camera.
Get the camera ready, Daddy.
God, just get the camera ready.
This poor, useless. Yeah, this poor,
and then
they're
all kind of chattering. It's all kind of very low key noise, very kind of normal ambient.
Yeah, it's very quiet.
Mm-hmm. And then you hear this kind of in the distance, and they all go quiet and look, and in the horizon you can see this cloud of dust and debris and smoke rising, where all the racers are obviously coming from, and it's so far away in the horizon that you can see how quickly the thing is moving. You're like, oh my god, they're moving at a speed. So all those people are just waiting there, and the silence is building. It's getting louder and louder, even though it's quiet. And they're coming closer and closer, and the guy's struggling with his camera. Like immediately you get a little bit of stakes and a little bit of promo. Like, oh my god, just get the camera ready!
Yeah.
And then the racers just blast by, like all the cars fly by, and everyone's like thrown up in the air. Again, this great detail. There's always people, whenever the cars go by, there's people like being flung into the water and thrown in the air. And if it was real life, they'd all be killed. But it's anime, so it's fine. They're all fine. They bounce back.
There's a bit where the car drives past, and like I remember a shed literally being splintered into 1,000 pieces by the speed of the cars driving past, and everyone's just like, yeah. Wow.
Yeah. But so the cars blast by, and there's a moment, huge sound, and there's that other moment of silence, that kind of vacuum after an explosion, where they've all just raced by. And everyone's like, and then just, yeah! They all start cheering, and then the music comes in, that the yellow line theme. And I love how the film, I said this before in the other podcast, but I love how the film comes alive as soon as the cars actually enter the scene. The music kicks in, the sound pumps up, the energy is there, and you get all this, again, brilliant editing of all these close-ups of like the wheels turning. You really get that sense of speed, and they're bumping up and down. Like, the suspension must be terrible. Like they're driving over this huge desert, and rocks, and dusty planescape everywhere.
I mean, first of all,
it's cutting to them it's cutting to each racer, and they're out of this world crazy cars and hover cars and jets and all this stuff.
Yeah.
Sorry, you were saying.
No, I was just going to say that I don't know how Takeshi knows, but that opening shot with the dad getting the camera ready literally makes me feel sick. It's like
that anxiety.
It's like everyone's worst nightmare. It's the old dude trying to work out how to use a camera, and it's just like, like get the lens cap off. I don't know how he knew that I hate that shit, but as
a filmmaker yourself, that must have been very agonizing.
No, I just in general. I mean, if anyone's taking like one of my pet hates in life is someone going, "Oh, let me get a picture of you guys." And it's like, okay, and then they hold the camera up, and then they go, "All right, ready, 1, 2." Oh, what the fuck? It's not taking a picture. Like,
oh god, yeah.
No, is that the focus? I'm like, it's a digital camera. Like to take a picture on a digital camera has been the same for like 80 years. I'm sorry, but like it's been the same, not for like 80 years, but like it's been the same for like 20 years. Like nothing has changed.
It's like turning your phone off at the cinema when one goes off. You're like, okay, I get it a few weeks ago, but it's been years.
Yeah.
And why do we not know this?
But yeah, the editing in it is insane. I mean, it's done a lot in film where you kind of get. I mean, it's done in like Fast and the Furious,
especially in racing films. You got to keep it exciting. You cut to the car like skidding around a corner, then you show the driver adjust the clutch, and do something with a hand, with something with the gear stick. and then do something with the wheel, and then cut to like another
you're
distant
really
shot. And
you're following
constant.
you're following kind of like the movement of the car, and there's a lot of the times where like the music will dim, the music will cut so that it will allow you to hear the car shift and it will kind of punch and smash.
Yeah, it really helps punctuate those moments. Like works in unity. Like it's a really good example of like the visuals and the music and the sound editing all coming together really well for the exact intended effects. Like you really get the sense of speed, the freneticness, the energy of it all, the real, the franticness of it all. It's all very frenetic.
I very quickly, sorry, I remember my friend talking to me. He was a rally car follower. He used to follow the rally car racing in Europe. And I said, that must be the most boring thing in the world. Like, you've got to wait hours before anything happens. And can you even tell who's driving past? Like, it's so quick. And he was like, yeah, but it's all worth it for those 2 seconds the car drives past and you can just hear it roar. And they get that and they kind of capture that. Like, these machines are just fucking insane. Well, I mean, everyone else's machine is insane. Sweet JP is driving a Mustang.
Oh God, it's such a sexy car.
Amongst
car.
all this
chaos.
That car. Yeah, I mean, amongst all this chaos, everyone's driving like a hovercraft or a spaceship.
Classic. Yes, everyone's driving these balls to the walls. Yeah, hovercrafts and spaceships.
Yeah, and
Sweet JP, our main guy, he's just cruising along in a classic design car, which has got wheels and everything. Like, he's the only racer who's being bounced everywhere because of the suspension as well. He's just like constantly.
Yeah, exactly. It's fantastic. Like, it's a fantastic way to set the film, and again, it tells you a lot about our main character straight away. It's a
great introduction to JP.
Yeah, we've got a bunch of really kind of eccentric characters. Again, it feels like F-Zero. It's those kind of characters. You have these
they're absolutely, like, their designs are so big and outlandish, but it all makes them very distinct. You don't really get confused as to who's who.
Yeah, even our kind of like hot girl Sonoshi, who's like the main girl, even she's got this kind of like bubblegum hair. The commentator calls her like Cherry Stealer or something. Like it's
Cherry Boy.
Cherry
Hunter.
Boy.
I don't get it at all. I assume that's some kind of translation thing, but I do not get that.
Yeah,
Cherry Boy Hunter. I don't know what that means.
She looks like a character of Overwatch, basically. Like she looks
Does it mean she like takes young men's virginities?
That's what I thought.
She a bit of a cougar.
Even
though she's not old enough to be a cougar.
I thought that she was just like an absolute heartbreaker. Like that was what the Cherry Boy Stealer meant, that she was just a fucking heartbreaker, that she would just go up, she would just steal these boys' hearts.
They talk about it later, don't they? They talk about their nicknames, JP and Sonoshi. And he's just like, it's just a stupid name I got stuck with. He's like, oh, and he's like, yeah, you got Cherry Boy. She's like, what?
Yeah, she's like, what?
It's a bit weird. Like, you think she'd be aware of it.
Cherry Boy? Yeah. What do they call you?
We're getting ahead of ourselves.
They call you custard tart, man. Yeah.
Well, this film, like, as we go on to talking about it, I'd say again, this film overall, like something we both really, I think, agree on is the pacing. How well it clocks along, because this film goes in for about an hour and 40 minutes.
Yeah.
And you really don't feel it. Like, it opens with that brilliant, exciting race. It punches so well, and in the middle act, just the right amount of breather and background, and fleshing things out and making you care more about the stakes and and build anticipation for the explosive third act of the race itself.
Yeah.
And all its ups and downs.
Yeah.
And this intro sequence is just exemplary in that. Like, again, it's that classic thing, but it's so good at grabbing your attention and bringing you into this world and making you feel the excitement they feel. And, after you've watched the first race, one of the first things you're like is like, oh, it's a Redline race. Like, how crazy is that going to get? Like, it really ramps up your expectations.
I first stumbled upon this film. I was telling Sean, I was watching a top 10 sort of animes from like 10 years ago, or like 5 years ago, and the guy doing the video, he was sort of going through these animes very quickly. He was like, oh yeah, and Perfect Blue, you need to see that. Oh, Spirited Away, you need to see this. And then he got to Redline, and he like broke character. He literally just went, yeah, this film is fucking brilliant. And I instantly went to see the trailer, and the trailer basically just shows that first race, and
it doesn't really sell the film.
Not much, but if you care enough about like animation and shit.
You'll definitely notice.
Oh my
that
god,
straight
you'll
away.
just
That'll be the
watch.
first
Yeah,
thing to do.
all you'll see is an absolute gorgeous, gorgeously animated.
It's
race.
gorgeous and looks exciting
and sounds great.
At the very least, it looks that. Yeah. And again, back to the sound, but like in the first race, and the first race does so well at laying down all the groundwork. This is the kind of stuff to expect. I keep looping back on it, but that sound editing in the first race, like it basically comes to a head where it's down to Sonoshi and JP, and he pulls out his ace in the hole where he drops gold nitro capsule in his tank like she does for hers, but he does it later. Yeah. And he just overtakes her. And again, how the speed overtakes them. And they're racing neck and neck. And in the meantime, we go back to JP's best friend and like cohort, Frisbee. And Frisbee is the mechanic. Jack up his car to this crazy level and is kind of with him in the racing. But Frisbee has fallen in with the mob. Yeah. And he's basically borrowed money off them to make this car and put it in that race. So we get revealed during the race. Again, this is great with the pacing and editing. Just at the time where you kind of need a little break from the action, it cuts to this scene. He's waiting with a mob boss who he owes money to. And the mob boss basically exposits to us whilst doing massive amounts of cocaine. That he's like, well, JP's got to blow the cocaine. He's got to get to the last minute and then he's got to lose. And
get the odds up. Get those odds up, boy. Yeah.
Yeah. Get those odds up. We got a lot of money, right? And Frisbee's like, don't worry, old man. And he's got that.
Don't worry, old man. I'm the calm, charming man.
Don't worry, brother. It is I, Liquid Snake.
You think this foils me?
No, but like Frisbee is there, and he like saying, "No, JP will take the fall." As we get into the race, we realize it's like, no, JP's going for it. He's going to race. He doesn't know that Frisbee has attached a bomb under his car. So right at the last minute, it looks like JP's going to win the yellow line, and then Frisbee blows the car. The wheel goes. The whole thing falls apart, and he crashes. And it's this horrible moment, that vertiginous sensation, where like the speed stops suddenly. And all the sound drops away. So they just cross the finishing line. Sonoshi hits it first. You hear that, yes, as she like hits it. Then everything goes quiet. All the sound drops away again. And this is something you noticed last time, but he's crashing. Yeah. He's crashing after going over 220 miles per hour.
Sorry, just to very quickly interrupt. I actually checked the trivia of this, and they're going at like 600 miles per hour. Not.
You feel it.
Yeah,
I can believe that.
They're not going.
You really feel it.
They're going at speeds that we can't even comprehend. Yeah. So he is at the point that the bomb goes off.
He gets a nosebleed from it.
Yeah, exactly. Like this is, and again, like you said, like where the lines literally distort and get pulled.
Yeah, his whole features are pulled back, but also the lines themselves, like edges of him, start collapsing under like the G-force. And so he's like having a nosebleed. So like you said, Sean, at this point he's probably going at about 600 miles per hour when he crashes the car. And this is when he crashes and everything's in slow motion and it's silent. And as he's still floating in the air, sailing over the finishing line from crashing, all the other cars catch up and overtake him.
Yeah, in like a split second.
Which means they're going how fast?
Yeah, in like a split second either.
It's not before he exploded. You don't even get to realize how fast he's going. That's what the first race does again. It takes away that thing where it's like you don't even know how fast this guy can.
No. You just see the rev. You just see the rev count. That's all you see. You just see that he's maxing out the rev count at all times. Yeah. But like, it's not even for like a split second. Like these guys like overtake him so quickly in super slow motion.
Yeah, it's like they're going sped up by the frames per second, despite the fact that his frames are slower because it's animation, so motion. So he's just got the same amount of frames but more drawn out. But it feels like it's that much faster.
Yeah,
that they're already sped up. It's nuts.
It's fucking mad. Yeah.
But and that kind of concludes the yellow line qualifying race. Sonoshi wins. Yeah. JP loses hard, crashes, completely totals the vehicle, ends up in hospital.
Yeah.
Then that kind of sets the stage, and then that's when you get the intro sequence.
I don't know if anyone can hear it.
All these, it's just it's simple, it's effective, it's a white background, all these red lines race across and they become cars and they skid all over the place. And again, you get that real sense of speed as they zip past the frame, and then Redline title comes up. And this is actually something we missed last time, I noticed, but this is a detail we missed last discussion.
Oh, yeah.
So after the crash, after the red line, we go straight into a flashback. And because it's all soft focus and blurry and everything's slightly echoey and mystical, it's traditional flashback kind of thing. And we get to see JP as a kid kind of beaten up and downtrodden. And he sees this racer, this guy he aspires to, this blonde absolute man of men wearing this purple pink coat, unironically, and suiting it. And he's got a golden kind of Chevrolet, some kind of beautiful model. Yeah. And there's these two gorgeous models sitting on it, and he jumps up and he kind of kisses them, and JP's looking on. He kisses them both at the same time. It's very stylish. Yeah. And JP's looking on, awestruck, and the guy gets in his car and drives off. And that's basically setting up as like that's what he aspires for. That's his goal.
All JP wants to do is kiss two girls at the same time, which looks equally amazing, but also kind of tricky and a bit disgusting.
I actually, well, one, you're right, and two, I mean, the disgusting is what makes it hot, mate.
Yeah,
but
the filth makes it better.
I think later when they come back to it, it's not about the two women because it's about the driving, it's about the speed, but we'll come back to that later. Yeah, I think just keep that in mind.
Yeah,
but I think it actually reveals again. I think this film does very well at kind of shucking the convention or what you expect to happen, and it kind of takes you by surprise. Certain characters and moments happen that you're like, I really didn't expect that. I really thought it was going to go the other way. Because the way it's set up seems so by the numbers in places, but it really isn't. I'm not saying it's the most original stuff ever, but
no, but it does enough to keep itself not being bland, not falling into those sort of traps. I mean, should we talk about JP for a bit? Because JP, our main boy, he's a funny guy.
He's interesting. So we see him in hospital, don't we? So we have that. He sees the guy, his idol, and he gets in the car with the two beautiful women, and then he drives off into the distance. It's like it's a objective on the horizon. It's something JP aspires to be, but he's left behind in the sky's dust. It's metaphorical and literal. It's very deep. And then JP wakes up in hospital, and let me just set this up quickly, mate. Sorry, before we get into JP, because I think it's important to set up this scene. So straight after the race, he's in hospital and he's watching Sonoshi celebrating a win, and then Frisbee, the gangster mechanic, his friend, comes in with all the money, and it's revealed he needed that money that Frisbee got from working with the mob. JP needed that money to post his bail bond. Yeah. And there's this moment of silence between them. Frisbee's kind of sitting with JP, and JP's pretending to sleep, and then they both want to say something, but it's one of those, like, they say it at the same time, they both start, and it's like, yeah, you first, no, after you, no, after you, no, after you, and they don't really say much, so there's something left unsaid about what happened in the race, and it kind of makes you wonder what that's about. And JP doesn't want to take the money either. He's not interested in taking the money Frisbee has. He's like, whatever, I don't care about it. And that kind of sets a baseline for you to kind of see a little bit into JP and start thinking about him, I think, and setting up some questions for later. But sorry, so what did you want to say about JP?
That was it. I just wanted to say, like, talking about JP's character straight after the race, you're kind of introduced into kind of what of a person he is. He's a bit of a, I guess in a way, he's a little bit of an anime trope that he's like, I'm all about the race.
Yeah, I think that's what the film does pretty well. Again, because he is, but
they do it very well.
More depth, and they avoid him being edgy. Yeah, I think the voice actor who plays him, certainly in the American dub,
Patrick Seitz.
I think he's brilliant.
Yeah, and
fantastic job. He has that Elvis twang to his voice because it's kind of in JP's character design,
he looks
with
like
that massive
Elvis.
kind of ducktail pompadour he has going on.
But he's like straight away we understand a lot about JP. He is a kind of he's that typical kind of racer boy where he's all about the race, but the fact that we're introduced to this other character, Frisbee, it shows that JP is not
he's still, it's not like an easy choice for him either. Like he's all about the speed, but he's also got this friend who's indebted with the mob, and he's torn between, looking out for his buddy and keeping his integrity and.
Which again which gets revealed later on. We see stuff we don't, but Frisbee's in debt with the mob, and it's basically JP's fault, or like JP's partially responsible for it. Yeah. And it's that kind of guilt. But initially, when this scene happens at the hospital, there's things left unsaid. And you get this idea that JP's on to Frisbee and what he's done to the car and how he blew it up and sabotaged the race, but he also kind of lets it go. He kind of does this thing with things unsaid, but also their familiarity with each other. So they kind of know each other very well.
Yeah, they
excuse me.
Yeah.
And yet you're curious, you're there watching like, JP, why do you associate with this guy? He's clearly a scumbag. Like, he can't be trusted.
Yeah. Exactly. Like there has to be something more behind it.
It sets up some intrigue for later.
Yeah.
Very efficient, very nice. And in the same scene. Sorry.
No. I was going to say and also very, very quickly as well. We're kind of introduced. You get this big splurge of characters enter the room when he's in the hospital, and you get a very good sense of like this world that they live in is a very alien world. Like we get this big, very kind of like rubber hosed animation of these just reporters coming in.
Straight after during the scene after their conversation.
You already know we're on an alien.
People crashing.
Yeah, you already know we're on an alien world, but you just get this absolute collage of just madness,
really inventive designs and shapes
and they basically tell him they're the first people to tell him. They're like, oh, by the way, 2 people have dropped out of default because the next planet that they're going to is so fucking dangerous.
Yeah, 2 of the races have dropped out of Redline, so JP now qualifies by default.
Huh? Hello?
Hello? Can you hear me?
Sorry, I lost you. Yeah, I got you.
Sorry, ladies and jelly spoons, we had a technical error. But we were saying, so JP and Frisbee having this conversation, JP doesn't want the money, and then all these reporters burst in, and they basically are the first to tell JP, as you were saying, that he wins, that he qualifies for the Redline race final. He qualifies for Redline because 2 races dropped out by default because they don't want to race on Robo World, which is set up to be this crazy, militaristic, fascistic, zealot, cyborg race with very heavy firepower and very little tolerance for racers, especially illegal ones.
Yes, exactly.
But they're just like, I don't want to die in a damn race. It's just a silly race.
I'm too beautiful to die now.
I'm so good. Place for the Alliance for my people on Robo. There. Yeah. Some great voice work. Some fun voices to the faces. Everything matches. Everyone sounds like they should.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, the it's one of those ones where I would like, because I've heard the Japanese original, and it's all right, but I feel this film really lends itself to the Western style. Like there's something about
that's what I was trying to like badly say.
Yeah, there's something about JP.
There's something
about JP. The fact that he looks a bit like Elvis. The fact that he drives a Chevrolet, or what I think is a Chevrolet anyway, or like a Mustang. He's got like a classic American car, but like it just feels
gorgeous.
It feels like it lends itself to these Western tendencies. It's a bit like Cowboy Bebop in that respect. You know how like me and you prefer the dub because Cowboy Bebop is already quite Western. And you kind of want
it's a Western. It's a Western.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Flavor.
So
this film is very emblematic of that. So if you're a fan of Cowboy Bebop, this would be the kind of film you'll enjoy.
It's a Western, exactly.
It's a Western.
It's a Wes Anderson Western. Wes.
Yeah. So bring him into it. That's a whole nother worms about style.
Yeah.
So JP hears that he's going to be a qualifier, and Frisbee's looking at him, kind of being like, "Don't do it!" Like, "Oh God, is he going to go for it?" So JP's like, "Give that thing here." Grabs a camera and he's like, "We're going to Robo World, bitches!"
Woo!
So we have the stage set. We know JP's going to head for Redline, and take part in this very dangerous race.
Yeah.
Anything more to go over before we move on?
I mean, the thing is, like, the Yellow Line race at this point is so fucking mad. Like, we haven't talked about the fact that JP doesn't use weapons. Everyone else is shooting rockets like Mario Kart.
That does come in
later. It's like
Mario
Kart, though, but like,
I mean, it's absolutely insane. Like,
there's no rules. They're using
No.
chains to pull on each other's cars
Yeah.
like grappling hooks. They're shooting rockets, machine guns. They're trying to kill each other.
Yeah,
Like there's definitely. It seems very fast and loose, whatever the rule book is.
Yeah. It's fucking
Doesn't
insane.
matter.
It's like it's like F-Zero. It's like Mario Kart. It's just this insane, and like the fact that we've set the stage now. We know who JP is. We know what he's about, and now we're about to go to Redline, which we just know if it's anything to go off Yellow Line, this is going to be one hell of a ride. Like it's a mouth-watering hook to think that there's something crazier than that opening race you've just seen.
Yes, it's a very good way of putting it. It's very enticing. It really entices
you. The bar has already been set stupidly high, and if you know, and everyone and if you know that Redline's going to be even more insane, like it's wow, like you hooked.
Yeah,
straight away you're hooked.
So that's it. Yeah, the stage is set, and you're like, oh my god, what's this going to be? And then that's when we cut to Robo World itself, getting the news that Redline's going to happen on their planet. We see the president of Robo World, they're all zealots, they're all super military, and they're like, God, we don't want this race happening here. Like, it's illegal. Stand for it. And also, we have a bunch of illegal weapons hidden. And if the Redline race happens here, and they broadcast it when they film it across the galaxy, we'll have all our secrets exposed. But mainly, we just don't approve. That's all, But we see them, and they're like, we're going on with maximum firepower.
Yeah, poor Redline. I mean, I remember you saying, Sean, like Redline, bless them. They, in all due respect,
I know. In all respect, they're not doing anything wrong on their planet. Minding their
in all
own
due respect,
business.
they're a bunch of assholes. Yeah,
and they tell them not to come. They come.
Yeah, with all due respect, they're a bunch of xenophobic assholes, but like all they want to do is just crack on with their own shit, and like
they're not causing trouble for anybody,
and they keep getting
they are stockpiling weapons. They just want to be left alone.
Everyone on Robo World is just super beta. I don't know. There's other words.
Yeah, well, they establish
them.
Robo World as someone you're not supposed to root for, even though they're not doing anything strictly right or wrong. But like they just are. But the workers look downtrodden and overworked. They're clearly zealots and fascistic. They don't look. I wouldn't say xenophobic, to be fair. Like I don't know. I don't think there's anything shown to give that implication that they're anti other cultures, but they are isolationists.
Yeah, they just look.
You know what I mean? I just don't want to, because I think they're actually shown quite well. They're not evil, but they're a bit shifty.
Yeah.
Like pretty much everyone in this goddamn galaxy, like everyone's doing dodgy stuff at some point or another. It's just a matter of perspective.
Yeah.
But so we see them, and they're basically set the stage as well. They're like, if Redline happens, we're going to respond with maximum firepower and extreme prejudice.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, okay. Which again, simple stuff. This was like basically the first stumbling block of the film. I think you felt last time was
Yeah.
Hang on.
Oh.
Sorry, I my recording. Sorry, I was saying this is where you kind of thought the first stumbling block of the film kind of happened, where the pacing could have been a bit better here. Like basically showing the Robo World people, showing how fascistic and militaristic they are, and how against the race they are, and how they'll do everything to stop it, and the reasons why they need to stop it for their own self-interest.
Yeah,
it kind of gets across the point pretty quickly, and the rest is just. I get it. I like it because I think it adds character and personality. Like it shows like the smarmy officer who's excited about their orbital weapon, that cannon that they'll fire and obliterate people. Then it shows like the Colonel Voltron and how like up to do and noble and honoristic. He's very Rome. He's very Legionnaire kind of thing. Very, very for his country and people.
Yeah.
And then obviously the president, who's like constantly smoking some kind of dodgy looking shisha and just off his rocker, just mad all the time. Like, it does give you a bit of flavour again. Some personality.
Yeah, of course it does.
It does show them to be quite quirky.
Of course it does. I just
They're
wish
not
they wouldn't.
Conventional villains.
Of course it does. I just wish they wouldn't repeat the same thing like 3 times. Like I'm all down for a bit of character development.
Point, I get it.
I'm all down for a bit of character development, but they literally talk about how the race is illegal like 3 times.
It's true. They
like,
focus too long on like exactly what and how the race
And like
is
you
going.
know, I'm the same as you, mate. Like I'm all like give me the world and give me the world building and give me those characters. I think the problem is with Redline. I think it's almost like a double-edged sword because the beginning is so intense that anything that's going to follow afterwards is always going to feel very slow. It's like coming off.
That's that risk of deflation.
Of course, yeah. It's like coming off the motorway or the highway. You know,
I do think this film pulls it off really good.
It does incredibly well. It's just that very first bit. I don't know if it's something to do with like
the stumbling block.
It's like the color palette. The very grey, steely world of Robo World. It's almost polar opposite to what the Yellow Line race was. So you don't get eased into a break. It's just like, oh, by the way, here's Robo World.
Do you not think that whiplash is kind of the point? It's such a contrast.
Well, if it is, it's a little bit too much for me personally. I feel like I understand. I'm all up for a good like smash tone. You know what I mean? Like smashing of tones. But like, I don't know. Again, like that scene is good. For me, it's like they go over their point a lot. They repeat themselves quite a lot of time, and it is such a jarring. It's such a jarring difference between this kind of fun, kiddish kind of like whoa, like Redline, like we're going to Robo motherfuckers, and it's just like, and then it's almost like Star Wars Episode 1. It kind of just cuts to the boardroom, you know. And we will be presenting charges against the people who go against real world, and the embargoes will be there. And you know, I do agree. Like, I love.
You and the Naboo are in a symbiotic relationship.
You must
understand this.
What happens to one affects the other. You must understand this. The planet core.
The planet core.
Mr. General.
We're still gonna die.
Mr. General. That's crazy.
Sorry, we got a tangent.
Jump! Coming this spring, Gunga Fest.
The film nobody
wanted,
but everyone was hoping would be good.
The Planet Core.
But sorry, you were saying, that contrast. It's episode 1 in that way, that whiplash.
Yeah, I don't know.
For me, I like the contrast and I like the little extra flavor it works. I also think it's mainly because I just like watching it. I will say, probably on the bias, I love watching the animation. I love watching these characters move and interact and play off each other. Like the president does this thing where he gets, what's that skull-faced red skull guy? God, what's his name? He's like a crazy weird name. He's like little something, little skull face.
Little John.
So he grabs this he grabs this little. Little Dezuna. He grabs little Dezuna and he's like ranting about like, we'll stop these guys and crush them because it's right and we know we'll do the absolute right and good. He goes on one of these big zealotous speeches and little Dezuna's just there kind of shaking him about, and Dezuna's trying to stand at attention and look ahead. Like, I really like that kind of stuff. It's good fun for me, but it definitely doesn't add anything.
No, it's
overall. It's exactly the critique I was saying of Scorsese. Enough. It's nice detail, but it is a bit vacuous.
Well, no, it's like, no, I think it's important detail. I think it's very important to establish our villains, but again, I just...
With something like that, when he's ranting and like shaking little Dezuna, is like, do you need to see this shot? Does this need to be an extra 15, 20 seconds in the scene? Exactly. I will agree with you there. That's the stuff I get rid of.
I won't lie, like, halfway through the Robo World stuff, I'm just like, I want to get back to JP and I want to get back to the world. I want to get back to this underworld. I want to get back to this criminal underworld. I don't want to,
I mean, ultimately, they're not that interested.
That's the problem, I think. Yeah, ultimately.
Yeah, and they're zealotous and fascistic. They want philosophy and idea, don't they?
Absolutely. Ultimately,
there's not much to see. It's that lack of depth when you explore it.
Ultimately, they're not as exciting as JP and this crazy race underworld. Like, it's
but to be fair, the film does pretty damn quickly get back to it.
Yeah, it
once
does.
We get that with that semi-necessary. I mean, this film could have worked without perspective at all. Do you know what I mean? They could have just been a faceless entity. Yeah. They could have just showed up at the race and started firing. You could have explained that away with a few lines. I like that they added the effort. Yeah, and it actually adds some flavour and pace. It works, importantly, later in the race because it adds some much-needed pacing and break from the action. You know, these peaks and troughs when it's cutting back to different characters, including them and their reactions, and kind of reminders of the stakes and where people are geographically and stuff.
Yeah.
But, bit long, bit over. bit overextended, that scene.
Yeah.
And make sure we get to get back. But then we do, and we go to so we get straight back. We don't really know how much passed since JP in the hospital, since the race has been announced, but we know time's passed. Fair enough for him to recover, and now he's going to the moon, Europass, which is like a moon that orbits Robo World, which has been demilitarized and is a safe zone that basically riffraff and people from all across the galaxy have ended up on and built a slum.
They're basically racing on the border between North and South Korea. They're just that's what it's like.
It's basically the border. Yeah, basically. And Robo World don't have any jurisdiction there. It's kind of safe havens. That's where all the races, and you get to see JP getting this, like the carrier ships in this are really cool. I love that design. And they ridiculous, overly complicated capsules that launch them down to the moon. They all have to get out and walk to the nearest town.
Yeah, it's.
But again, this is where like the world detail. Again, the animation really stands out, and the design and detail in the background of the machinery and the kind of technology they're using. It makes you curious. You just keep seeing stuff in this film where you're like, I wonder how that works. Like, what does that do? Like, it makes you say that all the time for some of the stuff going in the background. You're like, what is that? I want to see that.
We get into, I feel, one of the arguably the best parts of the film. I know I just had a big shit on Robo World. No, I didn't really like it, but
this is like the much needed kind of first drift into second. Robo World is the end of Act 1. I'd say this is the beginning.
This is the world building that I like adore, which is like we've just got our protagonist walking through a new land, and just we watch as JP kind of has to kind of adapt to this very strange world. Like, I know it's a very small little detail, but just the fact that he has to get his money changed, like he gets to Robo World and he has to get his money changed, and he's just got this big squid monster who's just like, okay, here you go, and he gives him like a fucking piece of paper and 2 coins. He's like, well, is that exchange rate right? Yeah, it's all right, don't worry about it.
You don't like it, you get out of here, you're pissing me off.
And
I got the right change here?
And the people behind him are also racers, and they're kind of going like, oh my god, like what the fuck? And they kind of like pat JP on the shoulder, but also you figure out straight away like that this place is fucked that they're on. Like, this place is fucking tell you desperate. Yeah, like this is,
and the way people behave, like this is a terrible place to be in. And basically, the race is all they have.
Yeah, the one, like, he tries to buy a packet of cigarettes, and like even with the cigarettes, the woman gives this like fucking like frog demon thing. It's just demon.
Demon.
This like frog thing just like gives him like half a pack of cigarettes. He's like, hey, it's like just half a pack. He's like, fuck off. And then instantly she just falls asleep. And he's like, what happened?
See, it's funny how this contrasts and matches, parallels the Robo World scene, where it's like this stuff, it's unnecessary. It's again, it's that extra detail, but I think it's what makes it different is the character. Like, JP is very fun, very likable to watch. He's got an edge to him, but he's not edgy. Most importantly,
he's not arrogant.
The hospital scene, the hospital scene. He's kind of self-deprecating and irreverent in just the right level where he's not edgy. The hospital scene kind of establishes that, and then we get to see that taken further in these scenes, and you do get to see kind of. He's kind of light-hearted, and like when he's arguing with her to give the cigarettes back, and she's like, ah! Where he's like just gets like a few cigarettes in like a moldy open packet. So you don't want to just give them back. He's like, no, it's fine, okay, I'll take them. Jesus. And she pulls the sleeves up. What the hell? Again, he's a bit. You can tell he's a little bit out of depth, which is quite sweet. He's sweet JP. It's kind of cute.
He's sweet JP.
And then, so then from there, he moves on to his garage, which is somewhere away from the slum town, but it's somewhere out in the kind of desert scape of the moon. And he goes to his garage, his private garage. He gets a bike, which is a little bit, I remember my brother, when he was with me, he was like, where do you get that bike from? And I was like, I assume he was giving it because he's a racer. I don't actually know. It doesn't seem like he has a lot of money. That doesn't matter. Again, it doesn't really matter.
No,
but he
he's
gets
kind of given a bike by the racers. Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Yeah, but then so he gets a sweet ass hover bike and rides over to his basically his junk dealer, who gets the pieces kind of together and basically does the heavy lifting of putting the machine together. He's not the mechanic strictly. He's not the one doing the tweaks and the upgrades and doing the kind of schematic work and then putting it and then the finishing touches and supercharging it. He's just kind of the heavy lifter building the damn thing.
Yeah.
He's called Old Man Mole, and his design is brilliant. So
It's
JP
fucking
walks
brilliant.
up at this garage,
There's a
and
lot
we
of-
see this guy.
There's a lot of fantastic character design. in this
Again,
film.
yeah, we keep
Yeah.
saying, but
These
absolutely true. Like everyone's so
aliens as
distinct.
well.
Their face shapes,
Yeah.
as well. They have different faces, different eye shapes. You know, everyone's got something different.
These
going.
aliens are fucking brilliant, and I can only
Yeah,
describe.
this guy.
Yeah,
is
this
great.
guy
He's
is
very,
like he's like an old man crossed with a monkey, crossed with a spider.
yeah, and well, he's very reminiscent of the character in Spirit, limbed character.
Oh yeah,
Remember him?
yeah,
Who worked in like the coal steam room
Yeah,
to like
yeah,
heat
yeah,
the
yeah.
bars and
Yeah.
power the building.
yeah.
Yeah, but this guy, yeah, he's the same, and he wears a green leather jumpsuit, and he's like walking on all fours, and it's the way he. Again, it's like it's great. The animators have really thought through what this guy could do with. It's the perfect comparison to General Grievous in Star Wars Episode 3, where he gets out 4 lightsabers, and his arms go from 2 to 4, and he has 4 arms. And what does he do? He spins them all in the same forward motion towards Kenobi, which is the same thing you could achieve with 2 arms.
He does essentially. He does essentially what a 10-year-old boy does when he gets into a fight. He just does a windmill.
Windmills.
Just does the windmill. He
Like
does
there's
the
a,
windmill.
yeah.
Get out of my way, or I'm going to hit you in the face.
Yeah, there's no imagination behind it. Like he's got 4 hands. He could cut at every angle. Go. Such an advantage. Like they don't use it at all. Such a good design, completely unused.
Out of my
Which is
way,
like-
or I'm going to windmill you in the face.
I'm gonna windmill you. I'll
General-
pop you on the nose.
General
Oh,
Grievous,
me, I
why are
will.
you some London Cockney orphan? I'm going to pop you in the face if you get
You're
too
mad.
close to
General,
me.
General Kenobi, Anakin Skywalker, I'll finally have you. Shine your shoes, Governor.
I finally got you. Check out these other 2 lightsabers that I've acquired over the...
You must
Coming
realise,
years.
you're buggered, mate.
You're buggered. Watch me spin him like a windmill.
Yeah, but like the complete contrast to that is this guy, Old Man Mole. Like it's such an inventive design. Again, the way he moves is so satisfying and fun to watch.
We'll call him Spider Monkey.
Spider Monkey. Oh, he is called Old Man Mole.
I know he is, but I like to call him Spider Monkey.
Okay, Spider Monkey.
Because he looks like a spider monkey and he's mad.
does.
He's a
He's got
spider monkey.
Grey skin, big bushy mustache.
Well, I
You know,
feel Spider
and
Monkey
he's
because
kind
he's
of-
got loads
he's
of
kind of
limbs
a-
and he's like a monkey.
Hmm?
I feel like Spider Monkey because he's got loads of limbs and he's like a monkey. That's
Yeah.
my
It's the way he moves on
jump.
all fours with the
Yeah.
raised behind kind of thing.
That was
But like,
that was my jump.
he's the
anyway.
kind of traditional hard ass character, the gruff. I love you, but I can't show it.
I just care
about
fixing the damn cars. and,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, and he's there. And he's like, yeah, well, you're crazy.
I love
You
you.
nearly got killed.
I love you,
You're gonna
JP. But I love
Yeah.
I love a good new clutch more than you. I gotta
Yeah,
say.
he's like, and I was quite a player back
oh, good. Yeah.
in that kind of weird anime way where they always have that character that doesn't stop talking. I know it's a convention, it's like an archetype. But he's that guy. He just keeps talking and talking, and it's fun. It's fine. It's not obnoxious. It works. It shows the relationship. JP's kind of like trying to is low key to his high energy, and then Old Man Mole's like, JP is like, well, Frisbee's going to come sort out the engine. He's going to get us a new engine and supercharge the car. And Old Man Mole's like, you can't trust that guy. He's in with the mob. He's dangerous. You nearly got killed last time. Why do you want to trust him? And JP's like, it's fine, I'll do it. And then Frisbee shows
Because I
up.
love him. No, it's not.
Well, basically, and it's like Frisbee shows up and he's like, judge a man by his talent, not his occupation. And it's like,
I'm so goddamn smooth bastard.
I'm so
yeah.
goddamn smooth.
Fuck me. I'm
He
cool.
like wears a trilby in a suit all the time. Like he
Yeah.
has a pink salmon suit all the time. Like, he had a green one before. It's got style, that Frisbee.
He's a stylish little bastard.
Considering he's a hideous little goblin thing.
Yeah, he's your
With his
typical.
pink eye strip
He's your
across his
typical anime. If he was in an anime, he'd have glasses and long hair, and he'd constantly be pushing his glasses up, going, "Haha, well, I don't care much for your technique."
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, this isn't even final one. But he shows up, and Old Man Mole doesn't like it, but JP's basically, he'll do the car. It's fine. I trust him. And Old Man Mole's like, why? And you're also like, why? That's, why would you trust this very untrustworthy guy?
Why would you do that? Why would you do that,
so
JP? But why?
Again,
Yeah.
another little setup there, which comes back to the hospital scene where you're like,
Yeah.
oh, that's weird. Like, what's going on? There's something else going on.
Why is JP so enamored with using this fucking mob guy? Like, what is the big fixation of using this dude?
And in the exactly. But in the meantime, after that, JP heads up, goes out. He leaves mob in the car and putting it together. And JP just heads out and he goes to scope out the competition basically. And he arrives at this the Oasis restaurant, which is it's on Europass, the moon, orbiting Robo Worlds, where they're all waiting to do the race. They're all preparing there.
Yeah.
But like, it's this beautiful location. It's something that this film does, where it's like, I want to be there.
It's a sexy location, and you're right, Sean.
It's a cool bar with glass and flowing water, like the door.
Yeah, even the shitholes in this film,
have
you're
character.
You're like, oh, I want to be there. I want to fucking drink that. Yeah, you know what I mean. Like,
I'd like to watch my wallet for a day. You know?
Yeah.
It's just a cool place.
This bar is one sexy piece of building. Like you said, there's like the doors are made of water, and he like walks in and they're like parts. And it's just so fucking smooth and like charismatic. And he meets Sonoshi there, doesn't he?
He does, yes. So he encounters Sonoshi, and he goes and introduces him. He starts kind of edgy bad boy. Well, not really, but being like seen to by a waiter.
Yeah,
and he kind of sends him away. But it's funny, he's not too cold about it. He's kind of lighthearted and fun. And he pulls the guy's pants down to make a fool of him. The guy runs off. And JP kind of charms Sonoshi a little bit. Even though he's very straight up with her. She's not that impressed by his smooth bad boy attitude or looks. And he immediately says it, where he's like, oh. And he's like, it's scoping up competition. So what do you think? It's like, well, I see a woman with a passion for cars, racing, going fast, and has no interest in men. It's like he's self-deprecating and irreverent. Fun
fun. Yeah, he does. Yeah, it's that kind of like you say, it's that self-deprecation where he's like, he puts himself down a little bit. And it's that typical.
And it charms her. It works.
Well, yeah, it's that.
She's like,
it's almost like that. I kind of find it is a little bit typical, that kind of he sees through her kind of like cold facade, where she's kind of like,
this is very
plays against themselves.
But it's done well. But this is a very by the romance.
Yeah, but like you said though, Sean, like this is very much when you go for this film, you'll see all these tropes that are used a lot in either anime or like Hollywood films. But
especially if you care about
well.
Films, stories, like if you're familiar with that stuff. Yeah,
but they just do it well. Like
it's not the what, it's the how.
Yeah, and the fact is like, we've only seen Sonoshi once up to this point. All we know is that she's very passionate, but we know enough about JP to kind of back him when he's doing this kind of like childish, kind of flirtatious stuff.
Yeah, it's at the very least, you want to, he lives up. She doesn't seem, and again, it's not uncomfortable. She's not being rash. She's not bothered by him that much. She's kind of playing along and into it a little bit without being all like, she's not wooed by him, but she finds him fun.
Yeah.
And they chat for a little bit, introduce themselves. They set up another thing. They set up what's it called? A dialight or something? What are they called again?
The big old nitros.
Steam light. They have these. She has this amulet, which looks like a galaxy almost, or like all these stars.
Yeah, it's like Men in Black.
This blue orb. Yeah, it's like Orion's belt in that film. But she's wearing this thing, and he notices, he's like, oh, that's a steam light. And it's like they have, and she basically explains, she's like,
your
my
voice
dad gave it to me. Sorry?
Your voice then. Oh, it's a steam light.
It's a steam light, isn't it?
Oh,
because he has that kind of, he has that very,
before.
Oh, it's okay, old man, everything will be... Yes. Yeah, maybe too much, maybe too Jeff.
Is that a steam light on your neck? Yes.
Well, since I'm such a fan of dinosaurs, why don't I argue some grass? Yes. Well, you thought so much about whether you could. Maybe you didn't think to stop whether you should. Anyway, but yeah, he notices that, and she's like, "Yeah, it's a steam light," and they know what it is, but she exposits for us, kind of naturally enough. Again, the film does a very good job of expositing things, but making it sound natural enough, making the characters say it for the right reasons at the right time.
It does that.
Which is like, yeah, my dad gave it to me, and I've been wearing it ever since, and it has 100 times the power of a gold nitro, which is what JP and other racers we've already seen use to like jack up their cars and make them go that extra speed.
Yeah, just I mean, like I feel like the film doesn't have a long time to do this. It has a very short window to get.
And it really makes use of that time.
It has a very short time to get a lot of the lore, but also the characters, and it finds very good ways to do that. So, like a little bit further on, it introduces nearly every racer in Redline by just having this kind of like news outlet. Like not to skip too much of the story, but like
we'll get to that. Okay, but yeah, go on.
No, but like it just, they have their dinner and everything, and then they go in and they have. It goes into the news report, and then it just finds a very good way of just like setting up the stakes again and showing everyone's character in a very sort of bite-sized way.
They're having a bit of a
it's trying desperately to keep
shows up, and he's quite friendly. There's a very good natured feel to everything. Like everyone's quite friendly and cordial in the right way. There's some shit talking, but no one's like, kill you. The race is everything. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Except that
crying guy.
Machine Head comes in.
Machine Head! Except that crying guy, Sean. We've got to say that crying guy is probably the only guy who's actually not in a good mood.
He's just... So another racer...
I want to kill you!
This guy comes over to their table, and he's the co-racer partner. Like, because it's not always one racer. Like, you have two people racing a car sometimes. And he's a co-racer with this other guy who... what's the character's name? I'm trying to figure actually.
Machine Head. It's not. I'm joking. I'm just like singing a song.
Oh, it's a Trevor.
Trevor, yeah.
So Trevor and Shinkai are the two racers. Shinkai introduced himself to JP and Sonoshi. He's like, "I'm Shinkai. Nice to meet you." Kind of crab, bird, platypus kind of combo. Again, a cool design. And he's looking for his partner, and Shinkai's introduced. He's Trevor even is his partner, and he's getting the shit beaten out of him by little Desuna, that guy we talked about earlier, that the president was kind of shaking about. And this guy is like in tears because Trevor left him in the Robo World Army. They used to serve in the army together, and it's basically a lovers' tiff. It doesn't say so they were,
stupid.
but well, actually Shinkai does have a throwaway line. It's like, well, he kind of, they're having a quarrel after he left him in the army and all that, And it's like this implication that that they were lovers, and it's like this horrible tiff, and little Desuna, the Robo World's kind of captain, can't let it go, and he's there, and they're having like this brutal fight.
Oh, it's brutal.
It's absolute, and it's one of those things where it's like, is this domestic abuse or is this just a fight? I don't actually know.
The only person I know whose superpower was to get angry that he was beating someone up.
Oh yeah, he says when he starts crying, he gets on.
When
he's just constantly crying.
Yeah. Look what you made me do! He just kicks the shit out of him. Like, you think I like hitting you?
Didn't you bastard? And Trevor's like, no, this is nothing personal. Fuck off.
Fuck off and die.
In the middle of their fight, that's when Machine Head comes in, and he just kind of enters and it kind of stops the fight.
Yeah.
And he tells the little Desuna guy, the captain, the brother, piss off. Desuna's like, what? You can't talk to me like that. And Machine Head's like, look, fine, I just want you to move. And he's like, no, you can't order me around. Go around you. And Machine Head comes in, and he looks all intimidating and gruff and deadly. And he's like, move, scum. And Desuna's like, don't talk to me like that. And Machine Head's like, oh, okay, then I'll just go around you. He's weirdly polite.
Well, dude, look, if you're angry, I'll just walk around you. It's not a problem.
Yeah.
It's not a problem for me. Don't worry. Like, it's just,
it's fine. Jeez, buddy, I just want to drink. It's that kind of thing.
Well, Machine Head's great as well because, like, again, you said like he comes in looking like this towering inferno. Like he looks like
huge,
but he's like you said, there's no mean bone in his body really. He's just there to race.
Yeah, he does say the move scum line first. That's like his first thing he says, it's literally immediately deflated. He's just putting on an act.
Yeah, he's a bit.
As soon as Desuna's like,
he's
little
cocky.
He's like 5'8". This guy's like 7'10".
Yeah.
He's like, you can't order me around. And he's like, okay, fine, I'll just go around.
Yeah, and every time you see Machine Head after this, he's got a little Shih Tzu in his arms. Like,
Yeah, it's cute.
He just
but-
wants to do all his interviews with a shih tzu. Like he's the,
Yeah,
it's
it's
that kind
really
of like
cute little
subverting
contrast.
it, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. But then, so Machine Head comes in, and it looks like things are about to kick off with him and Little Desert. And then suddenly the whole Oasis front gets attacked and blown up. And this is where Colonel Voltron, who we saw before with the Robo World president, in his kind of council of ministers where they're all deciding what to do about the race. Colonel Voltron enters the scene, and Machine Head's like, you can't be here. This planet is a demilitarized zone, no authority. And Voltron's like, fuck you, I go where I like.
Yeah.
But he's literally just there to get Little Desuna, because he's like, you shouldn't have abandoned your post.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Colonel. I had to go see this. I'm sorry. So Colonel Voltron just punches him and then drags him off. And he basically just leaves with a warning. We're going to show up. I hope you guys are ready for target practice. When you show up, we're gonna massacre you. And I spoke too early before when I was saying end of Act 1. This is basically the end of Act 1 now. The stakes have been raised appropriately. We've kind of got our main players in set. Some relationships have begun rolling and kind of being expanded on. But that's kind of where that leaves off. Where
Some
it's like
tears,
the stage of
some
tensions
tears have been
raised.
shed.
Colonel Voltron's
Yeah.
fucking... the president comes off a bit of an angry buffoon, but Voltron is absolutely serious.
Yeah.
And he looks like he's efficient at his job. He's set up as a reliable threat. He works. Yeah. But and then we're kind of going into Act 2, which again a bit more backstory, a bit more. They're building the car. Frisbee wants to get this crazy ass engine. They're basically at the point where a car's engine can only take 2 rounds of gold nitro. And JP wants to jack it up to 3 because this is the Redline race, and they kind of have to raise the stakes. And he's not going to cut it if he can't get the car to do that. And old man, Spider Monkey guy, old man Mole, he's like, "That's crazy," but Frisbee's like, "I'll do it. Like, we need to get a crazy ass engine." So of course that's going to happen.
Yeah,
that comes up later.
Yeah,
but that's kind of
engine.
set up.
Crazy engine. We've got a bit of a romance blossoming. Maybe,
JP's
maybe
kind of
they'll smooch. Who knows?
Distance.
JP's charm is legendary. Like,
yeah,
who knows what's going to happen with an name called Sweet JP.
But this is kind of like nothing huge happens. This is all the micro action, all the kind of, a little bit of backstory here, a little bit of character development there, and this is where we get away, as you were saying with Machine Head, but this is where we see the Redline race has its own kind of illegal show, like big broadcasting news event, and we have the 2 presenters, and they start telling us about each racer.
Oh, that's so bad.
It does a really good job of like introducing all these unique characters in a very condensed amount of time, even though we don't have time to focus on a lot of them later on. Like, it gives you a feel about, and they're all quite distinct from each other.
Yeah, they're very. Again, it's this whole. They're all very fucking weird and a bit balls
zany, balls to the walls design.
One of them,
like 2 bounty
there's
brothers.
Like 2 witches. Like, there's literally magic in this universe.
They're like
established
K-pop
there.
stars.
Witches, they're
like
just girls.
Witches.
They're just
they
girls with their
album.
with their tits out, and they're just like in skin lights. And again, at this point, Shinoshi's watching topless as well, just because why not?
Well, when it comes to Shinoshi.
Why not? Why not have a topless? Why not?
I think that's the joke, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
We see from the back shots, we don't see that her chest is out yet. But it goes on the TV, and then we get the shot of her ass, and they're talking about it. They're like, sweet cherry boy Shinoshi. She did this and that, and she wanted the yellow line, and she's great, and this, that. And she's like, nice shot of my ass, guys. And then it cuts to her immediately with her tits out. She sits down. So I think... the timing's too perfect. I assume it's a slight self-referential joke. Excuse to get some boobs in and throw some shade on. And it's fine. It works, throwing shade doesn't always excuse something, but I think it works. It's fine. Not? This is the kind of montage where we see Machine Head, and he's talking about how this guy's like won 20 Redline races in a row. And you have the Bounty Brothers, who are nuts. They're like action heroes. You have the pop star princesses who do magic. You have the 2 bros with like the Beatles haircuts that are just kind of crazy, wacky.
They look like they do. They look like a typical. They look like a villain from Captain Scarlet or Thunderbird. You know what I mean? They
really specific.
Like it's fucking. I almost imagine them to like throw like green sleeping gas at people. It's that kind of ridiculousness. Beatles guys, but the characters are all they're all fucking crazy. Like Machine Head is straight out of
like a Marvel film. You've got these guys out of like a detective Scooby Doo villain show.
Almost, the two bounty hunters. Oh, well, the two bros.
Yeah.
And then you have the crazy bounty hunters who are very animu. They're great. You have, the pop princesses with the magic powers. You have the police officer who's like the dirty cop, beat people up, and it's like,
oh god, yeah.
They ask him, don't they? They ask him at that point where they're like, well, any allegations to you and your relationship with your lieutenant, the woman you're working with? And he's like, shut up! But we have a nice little detail later at the very beginning of the race. We just see him.
No comment.
Take a picture of her and put it away in the glove box. Like, just a little detail
there.
Yeah,
a little detail. Like you said, everyone in this film, even though they're all really larger than life, they're all incredibly grounded in that they love racing and they love the people who race with them, which is weird because there's a lot of like schoolboy like teasing amongst everyone, but like at the end of it, like everyone is just so super up for this. Like to do Redline, you've got to be very dedicated to the race, and that's the kind of respect that everyone kind of shows each other. Like everyone wants to kill each other, but everyone's also like, well done for taking part. Like
good luck out there and all that. But so we have that. Like I didn't realize until I watched the second time they all have their own little theme tunes that keep coming back in, that keep missing. Like, so we get all these races introduced, and you get the two, what is it, Little Desina's like boyfriend or his ex, who's had that lover's tiff that he was beating up in the bar, like him, Trevor and Shinkai. Trevor and Shinkai, and they're racing together, obviously. And the film has to kind of quickly go over these points, but it gets across the message pretty quickly, using a very fun kind of format of, it's obviously a kind of like larger than life kind of quick ad for each of the characters, a very YouTube kind of format thing, all these quick cuts, and just tells you quickly who they are, gets that kind of stuff out of the way. And it does this by diegetically introducing it as a TV show about the race that Sonoshi and Sweet JP watch from time to time.
Yeah.
And again, whilst this is all going on, we just see them gearing up for the race, getting the car ready. In the meantime, the two bounty hunter bros are actually paid by the Redline organization themselves to like go take out these orbital cannons RoboWorld has, so they can't destroy them at the beginning of the race. RoboWorld plans to like blow them smithereens as soon as they appear, as soon as they drop onto the planet, basically.
Yeah,
so take out that cannon.
Yeah, you kind of realise like
RoboWorld workers placing their bets, even though it's
you get a real good sense of like how important this race is, even though it's an illegal operation. Like it's got so much weight behind it. Like you said, you've got people literally like taking out planetarial gunships just so the race
orbiting space
satellites and like you said, like Earth. We talked about before, but like the whole planet, the moon and like Robo Planet, like everyone's involved, even though it's illegal. Like everyone is involved in this race.
There's that great little shot of JP at night looking up at the planet, and there's all these fireworks going off because they're having like a party down on RoboWorld the night before Redline. But during this, JP and Sonoshi get a little bit closer. He watches her kind of on the track, and then Frisbee produces that crazy ass engine they need. And you get to see it going off. It's just stationary, and he's standing by it, and it's just blowing out like this jet cannon. You see it in JP's face. It's like, oh my god, like this absolute beast of a machine. Frisbee and Old Man Mole, Spider Monkey are putting together.
Yeah,
and again, you're excited. You're like, I can't wait to see that thing.
See that
on
action,
the tracks. But that's kind of all of it. And then JP at night, he's kind of cruising on his hoverbike, goes racing, goes out for a ride again. There's this really great detail as well. Forgot to mention about JP, but he's very laconic and kind of a bit more laid back and relaxed. Not too much, but because he is still self-deferential, irreverent, and pokes fun. Has a bit of fun to him. But it's when he gets in a vehicle, when he starts racing, like his face lights up and he's so into it. You can just tell. He comes alive every time he's speeding.
He becomes a little child again.
And it cuts, and he's like a kid again. And it actually cuts to that. So he crashes his hoverbike and he goes flying through the air, and you see his life flashing before his eyes. And then we get this another little flashback. It's the last time we get one as well. So this film doesn't rely too heavily. But we see him as a kid watching Sonoshi as a kid, and she's racing around this little track. And he's so enamored with her and impressed. He's like, "You're awesome! You're an amazing racer!" And she's crashed, and she's like,
"Shut up! I don't have time for mistakes. You guys don't know what you're talking." You're just
Which is
sitting
a
there
bit-
in the stands, and you're not
Yeah.
out here racing.
It's
and
a
he's
bit,
like, oh
it's
shit.
a little bit assholey of her. You know, he's offered her a genuine compliment. He's just trying to like encourage her, and she's been a bit of a dick about it. It's a little bit of a weird note that never really comes up again or goes at. You know what I mean? Like she doesn't.
No, it's cool because
now.
he goes.
It's interesting how they show it.
Yeah, he goes.
Yeah.
He goes. It kind of breaks that trope where like these things will come back later, but like you said, it doesn't because like there's this moment where he goes like, she probably doesn't even remember me.
Remember me? Yeah.
And he never brings.
And she
it up.
doesn't.
And
She
never.
doesn't.
He doesn't even bring it up. He doesn't even like. He doesn't
Because
even,
when
like,
they talk
mention
about their nicknames as well, that's when he gives her like a ride home after the Oasis attack, where Colonel Voltron comes on and warns them.
it. Yeah.
But like gives her a ride home and they start talking about their nicknames. She's like, "Sweet JP, what'd you get it for?" He's like, "Oh, it's stupid, really. I just got it." And he gets really shy about it. And it's a nice little character moment again, just in the animation, body language, where he's like, "No, it's fine. It's just a dumb nickname. It's nothing." And he puffs up, he pulls up his jacket collar and zips up his jacket. And kind of looks down. It's like this little detail. It's sweet.
Yeah.
And it's a bit defensive, And it's a little body language where he's like, he's very uncomfortable with it.
Yeah.
And he tells Sonoshi about her nickname. She's obviously like the heartbreak, and she's like, what? But it actually comes out later. Sonoshi sees on the news channel, the Redline TV channel, racing channel again, talks about JP when it finally gets to him, the last racer. And it talks about how he actually took part in fixing races.
Yeah, it all comes out, doesn't it? Yeah.
It all comes out then. And yeah, it basically comes out. And she's like, what the hell's that about? And yeah, that comes in later, but she gets a little bit upset. Not too much. She's not heartbroken or anything. But she's like, really put out.
Yeah, she's very disappointed by it. Yeah, she's very like, oh, okay.
And then it's the day of the big race, and we have all the people getting ready. Like we have those little details.
Yeah,
again,
we have the nice lull, like you say. We have
the police officer kiss the photo.
Yeah, yeah. We have
JP come up to her, and he like wants to wish her luck, and she's kind of cold shouldering him.
Yeah, because it's right. Because it's kind of like it's a double whammy. It's like she's found out the
what
truth,
she's just found out,
but also she's like just in the zone now. She's also
it's about the race now. We're rivals.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, fair enough.
Yeah,
Good luck.
It is. It's we talked about the pacing before, but the thing is, like in this sense though, because this film is so short, there's something about that lull in between. Even though it does bring the pacing right down, it just means that when we do start the final race, it's that little bit more.
You'd be exhausted.
You would be exhausted. Yeah, the animation. Sorry.
We've lost him. We've lost him, ladies and gentlemen.
Fuck's sake.
Just drop the mic. You just dropped the mic on me, mate.
Sorry, my mic fell off. Anyway. Oh. Yeah, no, you're right.
Oh, you're back.
Yeah, you're right. Like, it would be exhausting to have all this
it would be a headache,
madness. And it adds for it. Like, we talked at the beginning, like the race.
It's funny you mentioned Mad Max earlier, because I remember friends saying that about the same kind of Brett, where he was like just exhausted by it. Like, he got a headache. It was constant, non-stop. I don't feel the same way, but I could see how you can get exhausted with something drawn out that long.
Yeah. If you have even like the good, like I remember, so like films that rely heavily on the pace. So like the Warriors, Mad Max, like you need those little lulls in between. And the thing is, like we talk about the first race, where the first race has those little moments of silence. Like even the first race has these little moments where it has
these
the
breaths
actions.
and these cutaways back to silence.
Yeah,
Frisbee and that gangster.
Yeah, because
Takeshi, back to the audience, the crowd's waiting for them to come, and then back to them racing.
Yeah, because Takeshi knows, doesn't he? He knows that like you can't just bombard everyone. So
you
the thing is,
make a film that is just a race. And you could actually. I mean, the day someone does that,
I don't think it would work as well because it enhances. They both enhance each other. So these little silent bits are enhanced by the fact that we've just had craziness.
Exactly, yeah.
And these crazy moments are enhanced by the fact that we've had this little breather, and now our mouths are starting to salivate again by the prospect of going into it.
You're just getting to the point where you're like, okay, I kind of want things to move on, and then they do. So we're kind of, that's Act 2 kind of over.
Yeah,
all that kind of groundwork, and then we finally get. Well, I'd say that's roughly Act 2. I mean, I'd say the end of Act 2 is really when Funky Boy shows up, but
right, yeah,
we'll get into that.
God,
but yeah, so then the race starts, and we have Robo World all set and ready for them to appear, and they've got their orbital cannon ready, and they're going to blow them out the sky.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, the princess of the Supergrass planet. These are the two pop star
anime witches.
Users.
Yeah.
They're basically space witches, and their princess has illegally used a transdimensional engine drive or whatever they say in the film to like beam their ship directly there. You know, it's a warp drive. They light speed jump there, and they just warp and appear there and drop the racers onto the planet. And RoboWorld try to fire their giant orbital death cannon, but it doesn't work because it's been sabotaged, as we've seen by the two bounty hunters who are also now in the race. But yeah, so then the president's like, oh shit, right, Colonel Voltron, your turn. So Voltron then like mobilized troops, and that's when the race really starts and shit hits the fan. We don't even start going forward. We start going down. Like it starts on the side of a tower. So the cars are racing down a tower.
It's
like a trio of towers falling with gravity. Like they're not even starting on a road.
It's more like watching the Battle of the Normandy landing than a race. It feels like troops being dropped into a war zone.
And motorbikes, and they start shooting. It's guns, lasers, tanks everywhere, and the action keeps cutting. It's quite interesting. It doesn't actually follow JP very long.
No, it doesn't.
Goes from the whole beginning of the race is all the other races cutting from Sonoshi. So we start with Sonoshi, and she struggles. The bounty hunters are on her case. She shakes them. We see the princesses. They're getting attacked. And they kind of shake people. Machine Head's kind of pulling ahead. The police guys barreling through, and all these RoboWorld mech suits and like bikes, single wheel bike things are trying to stop them. It's just nuts.
It's fucking crazy, yeah.
And they immediately start showing off. Like, one car uses a grappling hook. One can go over the water. One pulls itself over the water. JP boosts his car and skims over the water like a skipping stone.
Oh yeah, he like spins.
Because what are physics?
Yeah, why not? Why the fuck not? Yeah, I mean,
at this point, fuck it.
I mean, the scene.
The film was never asking you to take physics.
The scene is set, like you said, straight away by the fact that a spaceship just appears like through a tower. Like it's
for all the build up and the hype and the expectation of Redline, it starts and it catches you by surprise. It kind of launches into it quicker than you think.
Yeah,
just suddenly like, oh shit, the race has started.
Yeah, which is quite which I do quite like about it. It doesn't do this like overhyped build up. It literally is just like, right, we're on the planet now, and things have gone from good to absolute shit in the space of 2 seconds.
And it's cool because we actually get to see it from the RoboWorld's perspective, which is one of the positive things about seeing the narrative, having a couple of scenes with them, is we get to see them waiting expectantly, like Helm's Deep, waiting for the orcs to come.
Yeah.
Waiting for the Urukai to appear. It's kind of that, and then they just appear, and there's immediate chaos, and they immediately lose control of the situation and just send out Voltron's troops. And basically, what happens next is just the course of the race as they're all converging on these 3 race paths. They start at one end, and they have to get to a tower at the other end of RoboWorld. But in the middle, there's a zone called Zone X, and it's a top priority for RoboWorld to stop them before they get there. But that's where they're keeping their secret biological weapon.
Yeah.
Funky Boy, which is a giant mutagenic baby that screeches and fires lasers from its forehead.
Yeah.
It's its mouth. It's not too clear.
They keep calling it like a biological weapon. It's more like a Titan. It's more like
It is like a bioweapon.
A biological titan. It's like a star child.
Yeah,
it's like the child of a big
nuts.
sun. Yeah,
it's some kind of eldritch abomination.
Yeah, literally, something straight out of Lovecraft. Yeah, it's fucking
they mustn't
mad.
get to Funky Boy. He mustn't be woken up. He's just a baby. He still needs to learn.
Yeah, he's still got to learn. Yeah.
And over the course of
it's. No, you carry on.
Well, I was going to say, over the course of the race, kind of certainly the first half of the race, shenanigans occur. You get to see all these cars, and it's great because you get to see the imagination and the fun of the film. We've kind of seen what JP can do already. We've seen the conventional car race. Now we get to see all this crazy-ass, all these other weird cars and hover bikes and jets and spacecraft and, Machine Head's basically driving a rocket attached to a tank.
Yeah, Machine Head's essentially driving himself. As a great battleship.
Machine. So the car is him. It's nuts. The bounty hunter guys are this crazy set. The 2 Beetle bros, they like burrow into the ground. They have a kind of spider walker. The magic pop princesses from Supergrass Planet. They have a robot that turns into like a lady mecha.
Yeah, it just turns into a lady and starts kicking the shit out of stuff.
Yeah,
it's
their
mad.
cockpit
Yeah,
goes
some
from
sexy
from
robot.
the car's back into like the woman's boobs because of anime.
Yeah, of course.
And she starts like fighting, and you get that theme music. The dirty cop guy gets completely lost and starts ending up burrowing in the ground, and but basically the race follows them struggling through, and RoboWorld losing control of the situation gradually, and waiting for the orbital cannon to get back online, and the race has reached Zone X. You know, oh shit! And then the dirty cop guy, he accidentally crashes in right down into the layer of Funky Boy. And he cracks like the chrysalis that Funky Boy's been kept in.
Yeah, and that's
basically the huge disaster.
Yeah, it's it's funny because like all the time you're kind of drawn into this narrative that these are just a couple of guys doing some like illegal race. But with Redline, and especially when Funky Boy is released, that's when you kind of realise the whole Robo World subplot line kind of comes into full light. And
he realizes like this is a galactic issue.
Yeah,
now.
this is
like
the
stakes
empire.
have got out of hand.
Yeah, but no, you're right. Like it stops from being this sort of like dumb race for criminals. It's like it's almost as if you dropped Vin Diesel from Fast and the Furious into North Korea. And he was racing through North Korea getting shot at by the army, and he accidentally stumbled upon the nuclear warhead.
Fast and Furious 10.
Well, probably will. It's probably going to happen, isn't it? To be fair.
Yeah, I mean, where else can you race the state?
Where else can you go?
You gotta go
next.
You gotta race. It's all about living 1/4 mile at a time. Seems very short-sighted. Actually, Tyrell. That seems a bit short-sighted.
I think you might have caused the war. Dom, in all this. Pyongyang can't handle me. Pyong fucking
I don't think smack talk is going to help this like international crisis. Okay,
it's fine. And like the UN is just like some massive mecha driving machine.
Yeah,
it's like a big robot race car. Yeah. We're here. Whoa, and the WHO are there. The WHO.
Not the UN and the plucky little underdogs, like I don't know.
Yeah.
Like Madagascar shows up.
Yeah.
Just plucky little underdog.
Oh my god. Let's make that happen. Let's fucking do that.
That'll be our film.
Yeah, if Fast and Furious are listening, that's your next step. Go to North Korea.
Fast Line.
Fast Line. Kim Jong I don't know. I was trying to make a pun out of his name, but I couldn't. I couldn't do it.
We'll leave that on. But yeah, so we get to the point where Funky Boy's released, and he unleashes hell upon the race. Like he clambers out of his pit, and he starts blowing out. He starts creating small atomic explosions.
Yeah, he doesn't
blowing everything up, and the whole race gets put on hold. You know, everything grinds to a halt. Everyone's blown out of the air.
Yeah, he doesn't just stop the race. He almost like destroys the planet. It's like. Fuck.
Well, he destroys like a huge chunk, like this huge landscape area.
Yeah,
doesn't it? He like totals it.
Yeah, it's like apocalyptic, the damage.
Yeah, and this is when RoboWorld realise, and this is when you realise it's like these guys aren't outright evil because they're there, and it's like Funky Boy's been released. It's like we've got to do something about this. Like we've got to find a scapegoat to blame this on, because if it showed to be us, we'll be in serious trouble with the peace accords. Like we weren't supposed to do this, but also like we can't let him go out of control. So the president's like, is the orbital cannon back online? It's like, yep, it's just come back on. He's like, okay, fire on Funky Boy. Like I don't want him to suffer one shot, but we've got to put him out. Like we can't let him run riot. Yeah. There's some responsibility there. It's nice.
Yeah, bit of humanity.
So then we get to see the orbital cannon that's been set up twice. Now this is the third scene with it, so we get to see it fire, and that's also, the Book of Revelations scale of damage.
Yeah.
It's just a monumental.
It's like God taking a piss on the earth. Again. Yeah, it's just fucking insane.
Yeah, and this is really, I'd say, probably roughly the end of Act 2. Like the all is lost. Everyone's kind of down for the count. Sonoshi's vehicle is fucked.
It's
completely
gone.
totaled.
Yeah,
and we see her trying to save it, and then she kind of despairs a little bit because she can't get it working. JP, in the meantime, his car's survived somehow.
Yeah, his fucking
all the
Mustang.
cars to survive. His is the only one that's the size of a car.
Yeah.
Just to give you an idea of the scale here, the smallest vehicle next to his is the size of a Sherman tank, roughly.
Yeah. He's
Machine
like
Heads is ungodly.
he is like the little cockroach in the nuclear
Yeah.
explosion. Like he just
The
I don't
plucky
know how.
underdog, of
Yeah, I don't know
course.
how. Yeah,
I don't know how, but its car survives. We'll go with that.
through love and hair gel, it survived.
Determination and hair gel
Yeah,
and a lot of hair.
a lot of fucking hair gel. It survived.
But yeah, so he manages to overturn his car. Well, he's trying to overturn his car, and Sonoshi's just kind of there wondering. He's like, "We can win the race together."
Sean, it's
I promised you to tell me overturn.
Sean, it's an echoing from the flashback. Remember when Shinoshi in the flashback was trying to get a car flipped over? And now it's the other way around. Now JP is trying to flip his car over.
Yeah, it's a little callback.
And
Yeah, very
Shinoshi's
nice.
the one doing a little bit of
little visual callback.
a little visual callback.
Well,
And we all love
she
that.
like sits by it while he's trying to turn it over.
Yeah, she's been a right
She
pain
sits on
in
the
the
side
ass.
that he's gonna.
Yeah, she's been a right pain in the
Basically
ass.
stop.
Like,
Yeah, she's stopping him from tilting up. So
Yeah.
I want to ask you something. He's like, God, I'm in the middle of hitting something here. Trying to race. But she's like, your name, like, is it true you were like done for like crooked races and taking falls and stuff? He's like, yeah. I had to pay back my friend Frisbee, remember the mechanic? He's like, Frisbee believed in me and he went to the mob and got money from them to help me win that first race. And I lost. And then he ended up owing a lot of money to the mob. And he's like in trouble with them still now. It's like, it's basically all my fault. He believed in me and I let him down.
yeah,
So you get to go, that kind of thing with JP comes home to roost, and it's not just about the race. He wants to be proud by his mate
yeah,
as well, and pay off the faith he had in him. The faith he has in Sonoshi.
yeah, exactly.
Sonoshi.
Yeah, so
But
it's a really lovely moment.
It is a nice little moment.
Very, very, very quickly, I think we should mention very quickly, at this point, while all this is happening, Frisbee is revealed that he's actually still in with the mob. So even though
Yes.
so even though there's this kind of inkling that because Spider Monkey is like, why would you trust someone from the mob? And he's like, well, he's my guy. But and we kind of figure out that actually, despite all the words that JP was saying and Frisbee was saying, he's gone straight back to the mob and he's doing this same trick again. He's planted a bomb in JP's car. And it's the same gig. He wants JP to lead the race, get the odds up, and then he's going to make him lose right at the last minute so that he can finally pay off the mob and finally get rid of the horrible debt that's been hanging over their shoulders for so many years. At this point, though, because everyone's watching the race and everyone's so enamored by the race because of the illegal television station, whilst watching the race, on the off chance, because he's a super sweet, awesome spider monkey, and he's a sick, he discovers that the bomb is planted. Like he's watching the highlights, and he's like, there's a bomb on the car.
Yeah,
he's like,
JP
Frisbee!
Explosion. He sees like the bomb, aren't it?
Yeah.
By the brakes of the wheel.
Yeah.
He's like, that bastard's gonna get JP killed.
JP got
Gear up this awesome
Frisbee! Yeah, so he
gets on the hover bike.
Yeah, he gets a shotgun straight out of Borderlands. Like it's a proper
crazy.
Yeah, it's fucking.
It's a double flechette shooting shotgun.
Yeah.
And it has like a flat slide that these things rocket across like a crossbow. Oh, it's crazy.
Oh, it's
But we'll see
gorgeous.
that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he
Gorgeous.
races off to like stop Frisbee and the mob, who again we see during the Redline race. In a few cutaways, we see him and we realise he's fallen back in with him.
Yeah.
But JP gets back in the car and he convinces Sonosha, and they're like, okay, we'll win this race together. We'll see the finishing line together.
Yeah. Because it is
they
by then, isn't
squeeze
it?
into his car.
Yeah. Yeah.
And in the meantime, oh, sorry.
No, I was just going to say, like, you do get that feeling because everyone's kind of survived this apocalyptic event. And Shinoshi does the whole spiel where she's like, it really is now, my car's destroyed. I don't care. Yeah, I don't care about the racing. You were honest with me. I just want to see the finishing line. And you get this kind of sense that when she says it and JP says it, that there's this kind of sense that they probably it's kind of almost, it's quite metaphorical. They almost feel like they might die trying to do this because like they've just seen what this planet's thrown at them, which is like, oh, we've basically taken out half a planet with this gun. So it's kind of just like, we've just got to see that finish line. It's not even about finish, like we're going to try to win if we can, but we just got to see that finish line. It's all about seeing the red line. this heaven of motor racing, this mecca of racing. Yeah.
Yeah, they've got to get to the line. As they ran the race,
and everyone else is kind of in the same boat. Everyone kind of recovers, like you say, it's like a restart. Everyone's just kind of like, okay,
they kind of refocus on what's important.
Yeah, drop the childish characters and let's get the fucking cars back up and going and let's do this. Let's do this.
So people start gearing up again. They start racing off. Machine Head is still in the lead. And at this time, we go back, and Funky Boy's not actually been taken down. He's starting to regenerate. And Robo World are like, oh my god. So then they get out another biological weapon, which Colonel Voltron is controlling. And they start fighting Funky Boy. And that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But that goes nowhere.
Out of nowhere.
That's the last time you see them.
Yeah.
It's never brought up again, which is a bit weird.
Yeah, they're just like, oh, by the way.
Bothered reviving Funky.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, we also have a tentacle monster. We have like Halo 2, the Hive.
Lizard kind.
Yeah, like Halo 1, the Hive, or Halo 2, the Hive. It's like
Gravemind.
Yeah, it's like we have Gravemind, by the way. It's like sexy sounding Gravemind.
Alligator Gravemind.
Yeah, and she's here, and it's like, he kind of like, take over me, and she's like, I'll probably kill you if I take over you. And he's like, do it for duty and honor, and it's like, oh my god, okay, like he knows he's gonna die.
But yeah, it's a bit weird they do that because that never comes into play ever.
Yeah,
again.
it's a bit out of nowhere.
Like, we're just left with them fighting. It's a bit strange.
It's a bit out of nowhere. Yeah, it's a bit like, okay, like, yeah.
Why bring him back? You killed him. Like you did all you.
Yeah, and consider and not to like
leave him.
And not
he's out there.
Yeah,
there's this giant biological weapon just wandering about with another one having a fight.
Yeah, it just becomes a bit like, I'm going to take care of Funky Boy because I couldn't think of a good enough way to take care of Funky Boy.
They need to remove. They just got rid of it, and then they try and they just got rid of the problem, and they've introduced it to get rid of it again. Like I don't know, 5 minutes later.
Yeah,
and not really resolve it either. But at this point, it's all boiling down to this now. It's in the last lap. It's JP and Machine Head. Machine Head's ahead quite a bit. JP's hot on his tail. The others are kind of catching up. And at that point, that's when the Robo World cops give up. You see them, like, everyone's going so fast at this point. They're all using their nitro to get ahead. Yeah. And
it just cuts that silence again. Just cuts that beautiful silence
they race
again.
By and they just slide to a song. Just go, fuck this.
Yeah. Fuck this. Like, yeah.
So, it hits so well because it's that little bit of reality. All the ridiculous hyper reality nonsense of the race itself and everything that's happened. Just that little fuck this.
Yes, fuck that. Yeah, no, you're right. They're going like 800 miles per hour. Like, what's the fucking point? Yeah. Like, they're in anime. They're in anime mode now. Like, seriously, what's the point?
Hyper reality now. Like, it's gone balls to the walls. But yeah, they're racing along, and Machine Head brings out the Starlight. That thing Sonoshi wears around her neck that goes 100 times the power of Golden Os. And he uses his, and he's like, I don't need this, I just want to make the race more interesting. And Sonoshi's like, okay, let's use it. And JP's like, are you crazy?
Yeah.
And she's like, no, we got to see that finish line, you promised. So she drops it in his car. And again, this is another beautiful moment, the last time where the whole film elongates.
Stretches.
Visual shot of them stretching forward into the camera as the speed rocks by. And she's being slammed into him, and he's being...
Yeah, her face is about to fucking melt into his face. Yeah. It's like...
And then as they go on, it gets worse and worse. Like, another car takes a shot at them, and they lose part of the car. So as it goes, the car starts falling apart and falling away more and more and more. And now they're on the absolute fumes, but Machine Head pops another Starlight, and they can just see the race line. And the race line's up a tower. They're like, how are we going to get to that race line? It's on top of a tower. So the princess of the magic... Supergrass planet, the magic pop star girls, she like warps her ship into the middle of the tower. It appears out of warp space inside the tower.
She just appears.
The runway itself curves upwards. By this point, I think that's the last time we see the Robo World guy. What the hell?
Yeah, I
just like. Oh,
but I think what we kind of talked about before was like the fact of the matter is like this is essentially just an illegal race. Yeah. And the fact that this like princess of the grass planet is like breaking every international treaty ever just to get a finish line. She's literally warped a frigate, into a fucking tower just to make a finish line. It's just so fucking ridiculous. Yeah, an act of war.
Race.
Yeah, and she's like, aha, this is gonna be fun. It's just like It's just
But yeah, so they come up to it, and the car's falling apart more and more.
yeah.
And
The
while
world
this
falls
is
apart.
happening,
Yeah.
Frisbee is being pressured by the mob boss to blow JP's car at this point, so
Yeah.
they can get their earnings from the bets they place. But Frisbee won't do it. He's like, "No, I just want to see him
Win.
just this once. I got to see him do it just this once." But like, he just wants to see him hit that finishing line just that one time. Like he's ready to die for it. So Frisbee comes through for JP, and again, it's
Yeah.
that moment of it's something Old Man Mole, the Spider Monkey guy, says, but it's like we're a team. It's the mechanic, the junk dealer, and the racer all working as one. We got to focus on the race. But yeah, it's all them coming together. And so he doesn't want to do it. So the mob boss is about to get him killed and take the detonator off him that he's rigged to JP's car. And then, like a bloody a gun-toting saint, Old Man Mo, Spider Monkey, just bursts in on the hover bike with his awesome shotgun.
Yeah,
takes out both the crooks and the gangster guy in one go.
Yeah, cue the fucking Fistful of Dollars music. You just it just turns up and fucks them up.
Yeah, it's great. And then he takes the detonator off Frisbee, and then they just kind of like make up very quickly, and they go to carry on watching the race. So at this point of the race, the very end, Frisbee's like realizing, even though JP and Sonoshi have used Starlight on their engine, Machine Head's popped another one, so he's used two, and he's rocketing ahead. He's just a little bit ahead of them, and they're just close to the finishing line. And Frisbee's like, they're never going to make it. So by just accident, Old Man Mo's really drunk.
Yeah.
And like one of his forehands just accidentally sets off the detonator. And it blows up the back of JP's car. But that extra momentum blasts
rockets them,
blows up the entire car. And now it's just down to them. It's literally just JP and Sonoshi. There's no machine left anymore.
They're running. They're like running.
They're flying through the air. Propelled. There's like blue flames coming from their eyes. Machine Head's flying because his machine's been stripped as it's been fucked up more and more. It's just Machine Head like gunning after them, shooting blue fire and lightning.
Yeah.
And it comes right up to it, and they get to the finishing line. Silent. Everyone. There's a reaction shot from every racer. That kind of. As you see like the freeze moment, and then silence, and then and then something beautiful happens. JP has a bit of a moment where he just sees someone in front of him, doesn't he? And then so he's like, "Shit!" And as he does, he has this vision of that guy we talked about earlier in the purple pimp coat driving off with the two beautiful ladies in the car. JP is hello. Oh, sorry, I lost you. We're saying he has that beautiful moment that we said earlier, where JP is aspiring when he's younger to be that guy who drives off in a beautiful car, and he's having this vision, and he's just driving in a white void, and he looks to his right, and he passes the guy that he saw earlier in the car. Like the guy just gives him a thumbs up, and I think that's a little nod to. It wasn't about the women or the notoriety; it was about the speed, the racing. It was about the speed, and that's when he took him over, and that's when he acknowledges when he's finally catches up to his idol and overtakes him. He gets exactly. He gets past. Like you said, it's completely shattering past that whole fame and glitz and glamour. It's just that guy in the race car giving him the thumbs up, like, yes, kid, well done. The film just keeps coming to the purity of racing. It is. It's all about the purity of racing. And like I think you said before, it's almost like he passes God. It's like he passes JP's version of God, like his version of like the racing God, like his version of it. His Nirvana. Yeah. And he passes it, and then as that happens, they're all reaching for the finishing line, and just at the last moment, JP's ducktail pompadour just crosses the finishing line. That hair gel wins the day. Those of you who mock ducktail pompadours, it's going to get you very far in life in the future. Redline will change you. Yeah, it'll change your life. It will change you. If you didn't care about ducktail pompadours before, this film will make you care about hair gel. And it will make you want to believe. Care about racing. Yeah, just how Cats, the film, will make you believe. You will believe in something, in anything. You will believe. I don't know what it is, but you will believe in it. You will believe that children will be CGI'd onto mouses. Yeah. And just like that, you will believe that JP's sick hairdo will win the race. But it does, yeah. And then he wins, it's amazing. He wins the race, and then. It's JP and Sonoshi, and everyone's in the air. Everyone's breathing. As the lights come down, and we go back to all the other races, and they're all kind of panting for breath. but they're all grinning and
they're
just
so
ecstatic to be
happy.
there.
Yeah,
and they're just looking at them. Even Machine Head, who was talking all that shit, he's just looking at them. He's like, "Well, that was definitely an interesting.
That was
race." He's
something.
like laughing and smiling.
Yeah. And the two witch girls are like, "Oh, would you look at that?
It's
and
beautiful.
It's beautiful.
Watching Sonoshi and JP kiss.
It's fucking.
Confess their love.
It's
and all the other races are happy. Even the bounty.
Yeah. It's like a reflection of the audience, like, you know what I mean? Like, just everyone by this point,
like about the winning, they were just happy to be there for the race.
By this point, you're almost as exhausted as they are. Like your eyes have been put through such a fucking test, and your emotions and the music. It's like you're just like then you're giddy. Yeah, you're giddy.
Perfectly, and then credits straight away. It ends with JP and Sonoshi just confessing their love and kissing in midair as they're kind of floating down from the race.
Yeah.
And then it just goes to credits. Well, it does say love at the end, like love. Greatest force of it. Love wins the race. It is a bit weird, but
quite like it.
And then the
quite
credits
love it,
roll.
though.
And what an ending! Just perfect moment, like you said before. But like the climax, just to end on the climax, the perfect. You don't need to see the fallout really.
No, you don't need the you don't need the awkward
Galaxy's reactions or what happens afterwards, the money, what happens with the mob boss. You don't need any of that.
Yeah,
it's all about the race and getting to the red line. They finally did it. Just like a porno show. No one wants to see the awkward cleaning up afterwards. They just want to see the money shot. Yeah. But it was way to end.
It was I thought it was such a brave, not a brave decision, but just a really like great decision by the director. He has set up these other stuff. Like he's set up enough of the world where you would care about the world, like how they would sort out the galactic racing or about Funky Boy. You kind of would care about it, but he just knows that nothing's going to top this moment.
I think that's the perfect approach as well. Yeah. When you have a little bit of flavor there that adds some stuff you want to look at, but you don't really need to, nor would you really need to go into it. But it's just there, and you kind of, like again, this all works cohesively as the story, and it ends at the perfect moment. Like there's no point seeing anything else. Nothing else matters. Like they've made it. Like that's it. We don't need to see JP and Sweet Boy Sonoshi the Wonder Years or anything like that.
No, of course not. It's
great. It's a film that knows exactly how to start and knows exactly when and where to end.
Yeah.
Such a tight package like that.
Yeah. It really is, and
such a good ending, and I love a lovely song.
This kind of like J-pop song just turns up at the end.
Garagey, reminds me of garage, that clean guitar, striff and rumming, but it's very nice. Again, it's very contrast. Even the last song is a complete contrast to every other thing that's been very layered, has a lot of moving parts, like a car. All those pop beats and synth and all that electronic stuff, and then you've got this very clean, stripped back.
Yeah,
because it's just the purity of the race. It's just the purity of those two in their victory in that moment, having won the race, and everyone's just happy for them.
Yeah, this film has a trend of not wasting your time. I mean, I think there's one part in the film, like I've said, the Robo World bit at the beginning, that for me kind of does a little bit, but apart from that, in the 1 hour and 40 minutes that this film sticks around for, it very rarely wastes your time ever. The dialogue is never wasteful. It's tight. The animation's very tight. And it's a perfect way to end the film like that. It's a real homage to it.
Pacing. It's an hour and 40 minutes.
It's
great.
It's just it's fantastic. We talked about. I know. I know. Chronologically, Sean, we've technically not reviewed Heat yet, but
no, we haven't.
No, but. The film Heat does a similar thing. There's films. I remember when we were talking about it, when we were studying film. You talk about ending on a freeze frame, ending on a still. It's very difficult to do that. It's very hard to earn that. There's a few films like Thelma and Louise. There's like the Sundance Kid or whatever it is. Blackadder Goes Forth. You've got to have a very particular type of film.
It's the emotion you leave on, isn't it? It's like isn't it? It's like that. It's supposed to be that image that stays with you, whatever that image entails emotionally and mentally, philosophically, like what they want to leave you with, like that impactful moment. A bit like at the end of Joker, him drawing the smile on his face, standing on the car.
Yeah,
but it's not a freeze frame, but similar similar difference.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess Speed Racer. Sorry, not Speed Racer. Fucking hell.
Speed Racer.
Whoa. No, but it doesn't. Kind of ends in a freeze frame, but it's still a little bit of like anime. I guess it ends on love, doesn't it? Love.
Again, it just ends with them confessing their love and kissing each other. And again, yeah, it's a great end. You know, it's a perfect place to end it. I think that's exactly where it needed to end. You know, this film does so well. It knows where to pick and choose its moments. I think it does that so effectively. Yeah, we'll get into that in a moment. But yeah, so for me, that's the main plot. That's the entirety of Redline, basically. There's obviously a lot of ancillary stuff we'll have missed, but that is the general gist of it and how it kind of ends and goes. And yeah, so God, what a film! Like, thank you so much for introducing it to me. If you're a fan at all of anime, definitely check this. If you're a fan of animation, definitely check this. If you're a fan of films, you almost certainly should check this.
Yeah.
It's not just a good anime film. It's not a good animated film. It's a good film.
Yeah.
And I think the pacing is excellent. It's not the what, it's the how. It does that stuff great. JP and Sweet Pea's relationship, the romance is a little bit, you know, by the books and a little bit rushed at the end where they confess their love. It's like, oh, love is it? Okay, but it still works. It's great. You know, it sets the tone and mood appropriately where it needs to. It does so much with the time it has. It's bursting with character, with imagination, with sound, with editing choices, with camera angles, with visuals, with, you know, talent and acting and fun. And I can't sing its various components enough.
Really, yeah. I mean, like you say, there's just so many parts of this film that make it what it is. Like the soundtrack in this film is like it's as important as the animation in this film, the soundtrack.
Absolutely.
It
soundtrack
really,
and the sound, man.
Yeah, it really, really is. Like the sound mixing, the sound effects, and the soundtrack.
This is a film you need to hear.
It elevates it from being a bit of a cheesy racing film into something quite delirious. It kind of takes it to this kind of delirious realm where it's euphoric. Yeah.
Definitely. You'll definitely love that. I definitely say that. Like, I know people won't hear our first podcast, maybe someday, but like in the first podcast we did, because I just watched it, like that euphoria, that eagerness about it, the excitement, the infectious excitement of it all. Like you could tell, I was totally enamored with it.
Yeah,
I was really caught up in it.
Yeah, I feel Mad Max is another great example of like if you ever, because the thing I think we talked about it, Sean, but like we Redline can't exist in the real world. Like it can't.
No.
This film, we kind of talked about it. Me and you have always joked.
That's what makes it a great film.
Yeah, me and you have always joked that maybe one day we could make F-Zero a film. Like,
yeah.
I think
this film's kind of just beating us to it. I don't really see much.
Exactly. And you see, you
can't do it in any other way, like we said before, because it's animation. It owns this style and way of doing it completely. Yeah. Like, that's why I think it's a great film, not just a good one. Yeah. I really don't see how the thing can be by someone doing something similar.
It fully takes advantage of its medium, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah. Again, you can't replicate this in a book or a live action film.
No, you can't replicate. You can't replicate the fabric of space and time being ripped apart by speed. Like, you can't do that shit. And if you did, I don't want to pay to see Vin Diesel's face being warped.
Kind of games.
Yeah, I want to pay money to see The Rock and Vin Diesel's face being digitally warped by speed. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to fucking pay to see that. Disgusting. Whoa, bro, what's happened to my face? I got you, bro.
So, May, what are your final thoughts on Redline? You want to tell the good people?
Well, no, I was just like very quickly. I think the only film. Very quickly. Like the only time I've ever seen a film do sound design this well was maybe Mad Max Fury Road. It's kind of that where it kind of goes a little bit delirious, where it kind of has like the heavy rock in it, like down. But even that's very grounded. Like there's moments in it where it's grounded, like it's real cars and it's limited by the real speed of the world.
Again, it just can't get that sense of speed.
Le Mans
this film does.
Le Mans '66 does a fantastic job of replicating that that philosophy of racing, where it's it's all about the race.
It's about and why you do
It's
it.
about the perfect lap, and it's about hitting that kind of plane where you're just so in tune with your own machine. But again, Le Mans 66 falls short in the sense that it's grounded, and it's not like it's not doesn't make it a bad thing, but like Le Mans 66, it's restricted.
You can't feel the same way the characters can.
No, and they make up for that by having it 2.5 hours long and spending loads of time with your characters, and that's fine. But you can't, like, the fact that this is 1 hour and 40 minutes, and it's like we're gonna really get you to see these characters very quickly.
Really can't get that frenetic, what's it called? That visceral feeling.
Yeah,
the film really imparts you with that.
Yes, exactly.
Incredible.
Most of the story is told through those, because there's so little time for dialogue. It's those kind of unspoken moments between characters, and those, like you said, those little moments where JP's like flicking his coat and he's looking down the floor like, it's a dumb nickname. Do you know what I mean? It takes those anime tropes, but it does them really well and tight.
Yeah, and it does it in understated ways. I mean, if you're familiar with films at all, you'll know what's happening.
Yeah,
none of it will slip by you.
No,
but it's also not obnoxious and on the nose either.
No. So yeah, I think my final thoughts, Sean, are, as I sort of said at the beginning of this review, this is a film where even if you don't give a shit about racing, even if you have no interest in racing, or you're not even a big fan of anime, this film will make you care about racing and anime. It's such a tour de force in terms of its storytelling.
Tour de France.
Tour Le Mans 66, Ford versus Ferrari, and it's such a unique experience. Like, as we said, this film only exists as an animated film. It only exists in its current form, and it can't really be replicated. So just treat yourself to this, because you're not going to get this experience anywhere else. You're not going to get this level of madness anywhere else. Yeah. So just treat yourself. Like, you're going to, even if you're not a bigger fan of racing, you're going to have a fantastic ride watching this film. It's not going to waste your time. And just, what was it, free £40 on Amazon to rent it in full glorious HD. Just treat yourself to an experience that you can't really get anywhere else. I promise you'll be giggling at the end and laughing at the end. You can't help it.
That wonderful euphoria.
Yeah, you can't help it. How about you?
Yeah.
How about you?
Well, I'd say kind of what you were saying from what I was saying and all that before, but yeah, this film can't be done in any other way anywhere else, and it won't be. And I haven't seen anything like it, and there won't be anything like it, I don't think. I'm pretty confident in that. It uses its medium to its fullest potential. It could only exist in this format. That's what makes it a great film, not just a good one.
Yeah,
not only is it a good film,
absolutely agreed.
It also hits the nail on the head of what it's trying to do, and it's kind of irreplaceable. You can't replicate this shit.
Yeah.
This is a gem. This is a gem among a beach of gems, but beautiful in its own unique way, like every film is.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure what I was going for there. Well, this film is just a completely unique creature of its own, and if you're a fan of animation, my God. You do. If you're a fan
it.
of film, do yourself a favor and watch this film. It's great for pacing, for fun, for characters, and again, it's that visceral connection it gives you with a sense of speed and that joy for the race and that euphoria of victory, and getting through the race and seeing these characters get through it. I don't think anywhere and anyone else and anything else has done it better. So I'd say this is a great film.
It is. I agree, Sean. It's a great film. It's funny that you said, actually, like, even if you are, struggling to write a short story or a short script, just watch Redline. It's a great example of how a quite on the surface, like, we've got this intergalactic stuff, but it's such a simple premise.
Yeah.
That is just done so tightly and very, very precisely.
Yeah.
It's a great exercise in just utilizing quite a short amount of time, making it something fantastic. I say this unironically. It's why I love Kung Fu Panda, the first one.
Sorry.
It's why I love the Kung Fu Panda films, man. They're all an hour and a half long. They're all an hour and a half long, and it's just so fucking to the
Pacing.
point. Yeah, pacing.
Making choices, not too long films. Remember those?
Yes, I do remember them. Yeah, yeah, I do remember them. I remember there was a director. You remember the guy who made The Mist? Can't remember his name. Hold on.
Don't remember him, but I'm familiar with the film.
Yeah. Well, the director never makes a film over 2 hours long. He says it's a complete waste of time by then.
I wouldn't quite agree with that either. To be
Frank,
fair,
Frank Darabont, yeah, he was like 2 hours is your limit. You
Frank Darabont.
Yeah,
He created The
Darabont.
Walking Dead.
Yeah, so he was like,
TV show anyway.
yeah. Oh, but did he seriously? Oh shit!
Yeah, series 1 and series 1.
No,
and
he's
then that's when
great.
they series
He's
2 and
fucking
all.
great. Yeah.
Yeah.
You mean the only good series? He made the only good thing about The Walking Dead. Frank Darabont.
Yeah, I gave up after season 4, so I don't know
Yeah.
where it went, but yeah.
But yeah, he sort of said like after 2 hours. I mean, the film's 2 hours and 6 minutes, but he said like once you go after 2 hours, you're kind of dragging it a little bit.
You're really testing someone's patience.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah,
I think you
yeah.
can make it work. I mean, we bum Lord of the Rings, so but
Yeah.
much depends. You'll be careful.
Yeah.
Hulu.
Yeah, and like you said, Sean, as well, you know, if you're a fan of animation, like it's what you know, it's all hand drawn. Like this is a relic in terms of like people's talent.
Yeah.
It is. It's like, you know, this shit doesn't get made anymore, man. Like hand drawn animated films.
Moanas and Tangled and in Frozen's.
Yeah.
And Pixar's, you know.
And everyone loves it, you know, like there's no denying that everyone prefers it. Like, you know, me and you love.
Sadly, sorry.
No, I was just going to say, like, me and you, we love like, you know, hand drawn animation like Disney, or like even people like even animators like Ego Raptor and Happy Harry on YouTube. Those like really old school animators that everyone loved back in the early 2000s, like
Robert Ross.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There's just something about hand drawn animation that just oozes life and love and passion. Like you can feel it, and so
I guess it's because it's craftsmanship.
Yeah, it is. It's craftsmanship.
Like handmade jewelry.
Yeah,
someone who like repairs your shoe, you can appreciate a level of craftsmanship.
Absolutely,
you don't get on a very personal level.
Yeah,
like someone really worked on that. I mean, did someone really work on Moana's face from one scene to the other to that kind of degree?
Extent.
Of course not. She's a 3D model. There's things in place already. She's designed and it's set from there. Just change other things around her. This film, you know, people are shifting and changing dimensions, proportions. It all has to be forged and crafted and drawn patiently, painstakingly.
Yeah.
You know?
And I'm not sure if this is correct, but I heard there's so many cutaways in this film. There's so many little like snaps to the gear stick, little snaps to the accelerator.
Mm-hmm.
The animators actually had to animate like 30 seconds worth of footage for them to cut. So even those little cutaways, that's still an animator doing about 30 seconds of footage, just so the editor can then have the option to do those fast cuts. Do you know what I mean? But that's
dedication.
Fucking brilliant, though, isn't it? Like, I mean, they must have.
Sadly, wasn't.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Do you want to talk? Do you want to talk about that really quickly? Like,
we'll go over it quickly, I guess. But yeah, we'll try not to take too much longer.
No. We're nearly done. Yeah.
It was planned to be released for summer 2009. For world premiere.
Got delayed.
What was it supposed to be released for?
Got delayed. I think.
Yeah, it was initially meant to prepare the Annecy International Animated Film Festival 2009.
Carry on.
Would have competed in a feature film, but it got delayed. I'm not exactly sure why. Funnily enough, it was released several years later. It took 7 years to make overall.
I heard a rumor that it was
international competition.
Sorry, I heard really briefly it was a rumor that because it was hand drawn, that's why it was delayed. It just took so fucking long. Like,
yeah, probably looking at it. But I mean, sadly, this film lost out to Robert Zemeckis' A Christmas Carol, CG one with Jim Carrey in it. Like,
which is
this
a
lost
travesty.
out. Didn't even make the top 50 in its own home country of Japan. Yeah. It lost out to Christmas Carol in its own country.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's a shame.
It lost out
shame, but no one
to
really cared.
Uncanny Valley, the movie. Like, yeah.
Wonderful.
It lost out to Tom Hanks singing about hot chocolate with a very uncanny.
Oh no,
child.
no, that's Polar Express,
You
mate.
talking about Polar Express? Oh, I'm sorry.
Same director though.
Oh, is it? Is it? Well, that makes sense.
Hot chocolate. Here we've only got
Hot
one
chocolate.
rule. Never let it cool. Hot chocolate.
Oh, I fucking hate that film. It's terrifying.
Well,
It's
too,
fucking
it's really
terrifying.
really depressing.
Oh, when they're in the North Pole at the end and it's empty, and it's all like red brick.
Yeah, what the fuck is this?
What the fuck? Who the fuck is? What are you doing? Like seriously,
I feel
like
like
the
I'm at Dark
director.
Souls level. It's like there was once
No,
a mighty here, but all we have left are their empty cities.
All we have left is the cold hot chocolate lifting on the
Cold
side.
hot chocolate. And then that turns into a boss.
The hot chocolate demon.
I can't fight that thing. But yeah,
Oh, so yeah.
topic. But yeah, so we're very passionate about this film, and yeah, support it if you're interested in any means. Go watch this film. Like people who work this hard, if you care about film, deserve to be recognised and praised for what they've done.
Yeah.
And this film is, again, just a great film and a tour de force of animation.
Yeah.
You know, it's up there. I think you'd watch this film and have to reassess your top 10 animated films easily.
Yeah, definitely.
Easily. I very confidently say that. I'm not saying it would make your number one, but it would oust another one.
No, definitely.
But
Yeah, free.
it's a great film.
It's £3.50 and it's 1 hour and 40 minutes.
Yep.
Like,
And
just
we're in the middle of a mass pandemic, so
yeah, treat yourself.
you're not doing it. You're not going anywhere better. Of course, if you can't afford to,
Yeah.
of course, don't. No one's expecting that. But if you can, and you really you're not doing anything else, do yourself a favor and check this film
Yeah,
out.
just check it
Couldn't
out.
recommend it enough.
Absolutely. Try and get some beers if you can, or
Yeah.
not, and just
Yeah,
treat
it'll be.
yourself.
It's a great film for a beer or two. Get you the right people.
Yeah.
Ready for a bit of fun. And loose
Absolutely.
time. But
Yeah.
like again, mate, thank you so much for introducing me to this film.
Oh,
I've never heard of it before.
my pleasure. Just like you, it was a bit of a surprise. Just stumbled upon it on the internet. So I don't know the guy's name who did the list, but to that guy who did that anime list, like, thank you. Like, it's
Bless you, YouTube guy.
Yeah, it's a pleasant surprise. I'm it's just a pleasant surprise when it comes up in your life. So yeah, I'm very glad you got to see it, mate. It was a real like as soon as I saw it, I was like, I need other people to see this film. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, it was worth, and thank you. It was worth seeing. Every minute was worth my time.
glorious Redline. Anime titties and spider monkeys and hair gel.
Yes,
Go and
there
check it
was
out.
Shotguns and
Star
cannon lasers with giants.
Star babies. Yeah.
Yep. That's all you need to know.
That's what you need to know. Yeah. Anime witches and the Beatles are in it. Yeah. Go check it out. Great.
But yeah,
Awesome.
Well, I think. Sorry.
Awesome. Yeah. I think that I'm good, mate. Thank you. I mean,
Yeah, I think
That covers
that's
it.
kind of. Most we've had to go over it. I'm sure there'll be bits and bobs. You always miss stuff, but yeah. Well, thank you so much, mate. This has been great fun. For our first podcast.
first
Definitely.
podcast.
It's
Yeah.
the first. This is our first podcast, so absolutely, definitely first time. But
Absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah.
we'll try and get these right as we go on. But thank you, mate. It's been such a pleasure, and thank you very much, whoever's listening. For anyone who cares.
Anyone who cares. That's the name of the podcast, right, Sean? Anyone who cares.
Yeah, go on then.
Anyone who.
I think that's what's sticking, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Same.
Anyone who cares.
For anyone who
Yeah,
cares.
for anyone who fucking gives a shit. What's the
I
next?
think that works.
What's the next film, Sean?
It's a coin cost. Do you want to go on Perfect Blue, or do you want to go for Heat, as we originally did?
Sorry, say that again. You cut out. Sorry.
Oh, sorry, mate. I said, do you want to go for Perfect Blue, the other anime, which is very heavy and different, or do you want to go for Heat, which is the last one we did?
I might need a bit of a gap to do Heat again.
That's cool. Okay, well then we'll do Perfect Blue next.
Yeah. Back.
So, okay, so if anyone curious listening, go check out Perfect Blue, and
Yep.
join us next time.
Perfect Blue.
Same bad hour, same bad year.
Yeah, go check it out. I just will warn you now, it's quite hard to get a copy of Perfect Blue without paying
We'll
for it.
start with an easy one then.
I think we have to pay for it. I'm just double checking.
Well, you should pay for it.
Well, yeah.
Isn't that the idea? I'm going to pay for Redline.
No, actually, yeah. Just a very quick shout out. Do not watch Redline on YouTube. There's like 4 copies of it on YouTube. It's all shit.
Yeah,
just watch it. Just fucking
and
rent
you need
it.
to see this kind of stuff in high quality.
Yep. Perfect Blue, directed by Satoshi Kon, who apparently is massive in the anime world. Renowned as one of his best films and one of the best anime films ever released. Apparently, it's right up there.
That's a high bar to set.
It's a very, very hard bar to set.
I'll be curious.
Yeah, I'll be very curious. Same. I take that with a pinch of salt. A lot of people do regard it as one of the best ever made. But again, yeah, I'll be the fucking judge of that. You know?
Yeah, because, you know, people also regard Neon Genesis Evangelion as one of the best anime series ever made. And you're like,
congratulations,
parts,
congratulations,
congratulations. What?
You want?
I get what you're going for, but this is really pretentious.
How would you like a 30 seconds of silence in a lift? Because that happens in Evangelion. Yeah.
Good use of time. Got to fill out those animation minutes.
Yeah. Why don't you love me, Father? I've never loved you. No. No, you
Shinji,
can't.
you fuck!
Shinji,
Get in the mech!
I
I
can't.
don't wanna! Shinji!
Shinji, okay, we'll get Ray to do it. Yes, let Ray do it.
Yeah, that's basically it. Rinse and repeat until the very end.
Yeah.
Just like a weird, massive, turn, which isn't out of nowhere, but again, it's not really
still
built up.
fucking crazy.
Weird how so much time is dragged and it's all rushed.
Yeah.
But getting off topic, maybe we'll do Neon Genesis.
Yeah, maybe
Evangelion
we'll do it
someday.
We've got a lot of films in the book, haven't we, Sean? We've got
a lot to get through, considering it's taken us 3 attempts to do one.
Yeah.
I think, we're off to good track stuff.
Yeah, we're doing all right. We're doing all right.
Doing good.
We're doing all right.
All right.
All right, bud.
Well, cheers, buddy. Yeah.
No worries.
We'll call it that then. But thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us.
Yeah, thank you very much. Go watch Redline. And God bless.
Yeah. And God bless us all.
And God
Everyone.
bless. And God bless. Stay inside, have a wank, don't go outside. And watch Redline. Yeah. Help beat COVID-19 by staying inside and watching Redline. So yeah. That's my parting word, Sean.
Crime's a disease, anime's the cure.
Exactly. Oh, sorry, Sean. I know this is really dumb and I know you hate it, but very quickly, what's your rating?
Oh yeah, I'd give it a 6 out of 1.
Brill?
Because ratings are fucking dumb.
Yeah.
I think. Well, no, not fucking dumb. I do get it. I do get your kind of how hot is hot. But yeah, I don't really think you can individually. Again, my rating is it's a great film.
Yeah. I give it a bouncing titties out of I give it a bouncing titty. That's what I give it.
A bouncing titty.
One bouncing titty. Yeah.
Not plural. Well, that's pretty solid.
That's good. Yeah, that's good because two's like perfect score. So one bouncing titty. Yeah.
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 Not every breast can be perfectly balanced. So it should.
I give it one duck pompadour. What's his hairstyle called?
Oh, ducktail pompadour.
Yeah, I give it one of them. It's glorious. Yeah. It's glorious and showy, just like his hair. Yeah.
I give it a great film.
Yeah.
It's a great film.
It's a great one.
Yeah. But I believe at that point.
Bang on. Awesome.
All right,
bud. Awesome. Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone. And yeah, take care. Thank you, mate.
And to everyone else.
Cool.
Cheers.
Catch you on the blue. Yeah.
Yeah. Enjoy the next film.
All right.
Bye. Take care, guys. Bye.
Bye.